Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Good Monday. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you listening to us. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming. Remember, if you miss portions of the show, it's all right. You can get caught. I don't suspect that you're missing this show in its entirety. Maybe pockets here and there because you've got a busy life. Go back and get caught up. We post the show to iTunes upon the conclusion of every program. You can also find it on the app, WTSM app, which is free. And you can find it, I said iTunes, also online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Email us if you want, jcs at 979 ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. Also, that's where you go to Periscope at 979 ESPN Radio. Man, YouTubers, how are you? Good to see you again. Good time up in Chicago. Man, I enjoyed that. Thanks to the folks at ESPN 1000 that hosted Tom and myself there on Friday. We enjoyed broadcasting from their studios, plush as they were. They've got some options, man.
Yeah, that's an operation right there.
They got some things going for them there. It's several studios and modern stuff that abounds upon every turn. Yeah, so that helped offset to some degree the bitter cold and the ass-kicking. One of several we've taken this year. Let's start with that ass-kicking here where, I think fan bases and fans in general, and I'm included in that, of course, you reach a breaking point, man. It just gets tough, right, to even watch your team at some point, and it feels like our fans are there. It's just so – and then you begin to cling. I think one of the problems happening now for Florida State and fans and some of the reactions that I'm hearing and seeing and running into, it's when you don't have a measure of hope to kind of latch onto about what next year's going to look like, or if you could see a way out, if you could see light at the end of the tunnel, proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, if I could just, okay, this gives me a glimmer. For now, I'll have to wear this because I think that alternative is where we're going. And a lot of fans feel bereft of that hope. They don't see that. They don't have something that they can latch onto. And some of it is because there's been a hesitation, perhaps, from the coaching staff to go all in towards the future. And so they look at it as, and I think this could be debated, and it's an interesting conversation, and one that many in the fan base are having. An unwillingness to throw themselves in that direction means that it doesn't allow for people to cling to that, right? So it's like half measures. You feel like there are a lot of half measures being taken here. And so that leads directly to frustration. So does getting your ass beat every week. I mean, sometimes it's just simple as just saying what it is. They get destroyed, as I drop stuff to start the show. They get destroyed every week these days. It's not a coincidence, though, folks. It's not that they're not trying. It's not that they're not game planning. There were plenty of new things on display Saturday. They're game planning for their opponent. They did things. They implemented things that they thought would be successful against Notre Dame. Turned out not to be true because their offensive line sucks, but that's true, too. That's that every week thing that we talk about. You're just banging your head against a wall. But the reason it's not a coincidence that they get their head kicked in every week is now they're playing good teams. They weren't playing good teams earlier. When you're playing Samford and Northern Illinois and Louisville, and as we found out, Miami, you're going to be in those games. Well, not Syracuse. Syracuse turned out to be good. But all those teams that we talked about, those teams aren't any good. So you look good against Wake. And you beat a terrible Louisville team in dramatic fashion, which sent them spiraling towards firing their coach yesterday. This is, that's true. But now you're playing Clemson and NC State on the road and Notre Dame on the road at night, number 3 team in the land. You're playing good football teams, and thus you're getting exposed. Your weaknesses, which were already on display against bad teams, but you still had a fighting chance because they're bad, are now, at this point, exposed in a way that lead directly to overwhelming ass beatings. And that partly, frankly, shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, we warned of this when the schedule turned, and we said, we're struggling like this before we even get to the Clemson game, before we even get to that road NC State and road Notre Dame games. We're already at that place where we're like, I don't know. And that doesn't help. And so watching that, it's hard, man. Games were won or lost for a reason. They elicit emotion. The emotion now is one of palms to the sky. Why can't we get any better? Well, we can, but it ain't going to be this year. It's not going to be this year because I can't not start Arthur Williams at left guard until next year. I don't have an alternative. I got to run these cats out there every week, and every week, sorry, Arthur, I'm just using you as one example.
Yeah.
But every week, I got to roll those dudes out there.
Oh, what a rough year it's been for Bavion Johnson that you can't find playing time
and what's
in this
that
situation.
tell you about Bavion Johnson, man?
It's like hit the Kawhi Leonard laugh button.
I'm saying, what do you do? And that guy wasn't recruited by you. That other guy, all those dudes. And you know what? Fine. You did a poor job of evaluating what they could and could not do before the year started, and perhaps you viewed what was possible this season through a different lens, and thus we kind of bought in and believed, and it's just not going to happen till you're able to jettison some of these guys. And so I don't know what to tell you other than here's a ray of hope. I actually think this week is winnable. I think you're catching this BC team at an interesting time, coming off the Clemson game.
And a brutal schedule of
where
their
they
own for
were
about a month.
Physically beaten up, Tom, in that game. They barely amassed 100 yards of offense. They got their quarterback rushed to the hospital with internal injuries. I mean, they took a beating. They already had an average offense, especially if you could slow down the run game, as you've brought up a lot. That Purdue team shut down that BC team in the run game. Purdue. So can you get kids for a week to believe, because it's this game. It's not the Florida game. The Florida game will take care of itself if you take care of business this week. And I understand if you click on the radio right now or you're listening on your computer or your app or whatever you're doing, you say, whoa, are you selling hope after that? For a week I am, because the other one will take care of itself, and it's at home with a shot against a team that's pretty one-dimensional. You load up and you stop that run and you give yourself a chance to win a game at home that then, in turn, automatically leads to something very real being played for beyond it's a rivalry. No, it's a tangible thing. You could go to a bowl in the middle of this godforsaken season. That's a possibility if, by chance, you win this next game.
Yeah, it's a possibility, and I 100% agree with you that it is a possibility, but we will need to play a clean game in order to do that.
I don't know that we will.
I mean,
I can't count on it.
Recent history demands that we will not, that we will turn the ball over, that we will.
We're due, Tom.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, that could be true. I would agree with you. Talent for talent, as crazy as that sounds as well, you have a chance to be in a real fight here this weekend. But you got to get out of your own damn way. And right now, that's all we do. We would lose these games anyway if we played a clean game.
Yeah,
maybe not the NC State one. That one would be close.
Defensively, you got out-schemed.
This past weekend, yeah, that's true. You know, defensively.
That's a whole other animal,
That
man.
is
That's the area I actually want to turn my attention to.
Yes, that is the concern. That is the thing that's on fire in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of fires. I don't know that Willie's does he have any more water? Does he have any fire extinguisher
Harlan
left?
better find some damn water.
Right. Things are ablaze right now, and I don't mean in no nice way, sir. These things are all trouble, but you got to play a clean game yourself. Penalties, turnovers, hidden yards. I just have a hard time projecting that we are going to do that because right now it looks like we are addicted to hurting ourselves before we even start to play a football game.
It's oftentimes what you see from bad teams, you know, and we're a bad team. We're a bad team that could go to a bowl, and I think right about now what you would just hold on to for dear life is that idea that, you know, in a season where you're trying to rebuild and start something fresh and really move on from what took place in the recruiting classes of 2015, 2016, and you go back and you look at, last year's team lost 6 games, and we were beginning to spiral, and so this is a continuation of that, and he hasn't done a great job of kind of, I guess, filling the hole with the leak. You know, it hasn't exactly worked out the way we thought it would in year one, that's for sure. I can't say this has been a resounding success and that I'm buoyed by what I see moving forward, except there is a willingness to change. They have done a lot of things different.
Yes.
And they are continuing to do that. Early on, we didn't know that they were going to do that. Remember, we were like, what are we
doing?
Sure.
We saw the stretch run of the Stanford game where we decided to throw the ball around the lot and we thought, oh, okay, this is good.
Then
there was kind of a period after that where the Syracuse game, obviously, you go, sweet Jesus, really? This is what we're going to do.
Train was off the tracks.
But yes, you run a quarterback sneak. The wild cam was in play.
Wild cam we play. Well, the huge form. I love when we went big there. That cracked me up. I'm like, oh my God, we got 320 pounds out. They're trying things. They scheme differently every week. They just can't block. And gosh, I'll say it all day again today. And you don't want to hear it. And I'm sorry about it, but broken record, it is what it is. When you get in there, you put the needle down, and it skips. It skips. I mean, there's no getting around that. I can't hear the song I want to hear because this damn thing skips every time. I need a new needle. Well, I need a new offensive line.
Right.
This offensive line can't block at all. To the point, Tom, where Notre Dame, Jesus, that's the greatest level of disrespect shown yet. They just walked their 4 defensive linemen up there and said, suck it. We're not even going to bother. We're not walking anybody else up to the box. We don't care. You can't block us. You've got a man for a man. At times, you've got more men than we have in front of you, and we don't think you can block them. In fact, we know you can't block them. Now, that A speaks to Notre Dame's personnel. They're good. But that's B, just they're watching film going,
right,
no shot.
And it wouldn't matter who the quarterback is in that circumstance. However, I think they're backing the wrong guy, and that hurts because I think the locker room and preserving what you have of a core, like maybe it's 30% of a core that you want to work with moving forward. But preserving morale year to year is precious. And I don't know that the mixed messages, the half measures you're talking about from the last week and a half with how you're managing the quarterback situation and whether or not it's going to be Trayshawn Harrison or Keyshawn Helton or George Campbell or Keith Gavin. I mean, that rotation's all over the damn place.
Yeah, Gavin didn't get a ton of targets in this game.
I know, but you understand what I'm saying. 88 is nowhere to be found hardly anymore. And it felt like at the end of the Clemson game, when Keyshawn Helton goes for that touchdown in the fourth quarter and Harrison's blocking down the field, that maybe that's the beginning of where you can trust a younger player because he's carrying the play till the end of a blowout. That's something nice. That's something positive. It feels like that we're rallying around a guy who probably is more out for himself than he is for the program and for his teammates. It's hard to know that for sure, but Tuesday's comments last week seemed to suggest as much from Deondre Francois, and that kind of sucks too.
Yeah, it's not fun to back a guy that's not all that likable. He's not eminently likable. I don't think he's appreciably worse than James Blackman. He's probably better than James Blackman in some ways. I like Blackman more in other ways. And, I like Blackman the kid. I think he's a breath of fresh air.
The guys do.
Yeah, the guys like him too.
That matters. The intangible that comes with that, I think it does bring about a little bit of more zeal if you're trying to extend a bowl streak.
But
right?
I would argue, and I'll say this now, we got all day to talk about this, but I would argue that they must believe, this is the conclusion that I've come to, and just from fishing around and trying to get a feel for why that would be, they truly believe, if you couple it with the way they designed the game plan against Notre Dame, the new wrinkles and all those things, the week of practice comment and all that, right? They believed that Deondre Francois was the better option for them. They may not be wrong about that from a physical standpoint of throwing the football and executing the offense. They may not be wrong about that. What you're talking about is something that doesn't have to do with the football. It has to do with flipping the culture and engendering the kind of camaraderie that Willie has talked about and leadership. You're talking about leadership. And if you don't think 12 is a good leader, I don't disagree with you. If you're going to argue to me that things could have been any different at all with James Blackman out there on Saturday night, I would certainly say that's just not true. They would have got blown out either way.
See, but the problem I have here is you have inconsistencies dating back to, signing day? When we're talking about DeAndre, when we're signing a top 10 class or top 12 class or whatever it was, and I believe it was in this article, there were a couple of them, but Andre Adelson is asking Willie about DeAndre and where he stands with the team. And Willie said something to the effect
of, do a bunch of different things.
Yeah, but he's asking me about the playbook, and I'm telling him, what have you done to uplift your teammates today?
Right.
Well, if that's the mandate here, and that's the standard by which 12 is supposed to be judged, where are we in that discussion? And it just seems like that Saturday postgame press conference was more of a, well, of course it was going to be DeAndre. If he was healthy, then it was his job. Instead of we evaluated it all week, and by the end of the week, we determined that DeAndre should get the job back. It felt like of course it was always going to be 12 type deal. And that I wonder how James Blackman's camp takes that. I wonder how the roster takes that.
That we can't know. And I'm sure James Blackman in his camp don't like it. I don't think anybody who's a competitor worth his salt wants to sit the bench. So I would imagine if he could start, he'd like to. However, if the coaches believe that DeAndre gives you a better chance to win, well, then you should try and redshirt James Blackman, and that's what they're going to clearly try to do. I mean, this seems evident now, right? That's what they're trying to do. We've both heard from sources around the program, and we both talked to Chris Nee, a mutual friend of ours from Knowles 247, and other people around the program. I just happened to run into him at the airport, and I think you did too. Listen, people have asked me 3 different times since I landed, why wouldn't you have put him in at halftime? Well, it's a blowout. You ain't coming back in that game. They're not coming back. They can't block it up. There's no chance they come back. What, you think James Blackman's going to come in there and you're going to light it up for 30 in the second half? That's not going to happen. It's almost more disrespectful to play him in a blowout in that situation. Once you've determined that maybe you think, A, DeAndre gives you the best chance to win each week, and B, that you'd like to redshirt Blackman. Now, I wish we would have come to this decision sooner so that we wouldn't have rolled him out there against Wake and wouldn't have had him out there in meaningless snaps previous.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments where you feel like it's a tire fire, and you're like, God, can we as players get out of our own way? And that's what the beginning of Notre Dame was about. The players, hurting themselves, and we're hurting ourselves as a team
every week.
But as a staff, can we do that a little bit too? And then I'm gonna throw in one fanish comment, just one fanish comment. That's irrational. But I saw they released the uniforms for this week, and I'm thinking, oh, we're screwed. It's the black top with garnet pants and a garnet helmet. That's what we're wearing this weekend. That's disgusting. That's like the thing that my nephew plays, when we get to the NCAA. He's like, here's the combination I want to use today, Uncle Tommy.
You're like, that doesn't
make any sense.
That's not a thing. You can't do that. That's not even a thing. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
It's not even a thing.
Garnet pants, garnet helmet, and the black jersey with the gold numbers.
Hey, we looked sharp on Saturday night, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
We look good. Not on the field. We look good.
Maybe there's an inverse relationship of how we look and how we play. If that's the case, then we're going to kick Boston College's ass on Saturday.
There's a chance you could beat Boston College. That's real. There is a chance. I know nobody feels that right now. I'm telling you, it's there. There's an opportunity. It could happen. Doubt it's going to happen, but it could happen. It wouldn't be all that stunning. Do they want to play, Tom? Do they want to play Saturday?
Oh, do they want to play clean? Those are tied together. We're not good enough to do what we did against Notre Dame to start that game and beat Boston College, even if Boston College is a lot worse than Notre Dame.
When you've been losing games and when the season's not going the way that you had hoped it would go, and when your frustrations lead to mental lapses of judgment and physical problems, when you play a lot of hero ball because you're just trying to make a play and get something kick-started, when you do the things that bad teams do, those decisions and those breakdowns where you do something outside the realm of the scheme, you're just trying to make a play, those all culminate in disastrous results. And eventually it leads to a here we go again mentality. And this team right now is stuck in a here we go again. When Trey McKitty doesn't squeeze the ball and it gets picked off, first of all, we're bad. And bad things happen to bad teams more often than they do good teams because a lot of times those teams are in a position to take advantage because everybody's exactly where they're supposed to be all the time. But when you got kids trying to play outside the scheme and all that stuff, oftentimes that's not the case. But when you're bad, everything goes against you. And I swear to God, every tip pass this year has been right into the arms of the opposing team's defense. Every time that something goes awry, you put the ball on the ground, there's a dude standing there as it hops into his belly. He could not recover it, right? So that happened again to start this game. And immediately you're left going, here we go again. I know every fan there thought that for Florida State. I'm sure the players do too at this point. That coupled with the fact that, and it's admittedly going back and looking at it this morning, we got dudes out here like Jesus making catches that are absurd. NFL superstars don't make a couple of those catches that Notre Dame's players
and their heel comes down with one blade of green between them.
Are you kidding me, man? That kid won't make that play again in his life. So what happens is, again, it's a loser's mentality. But you're a kid in coverage, and you're in great coverage there. You do everything right. For once, you do everything right. And that son of a bitch is going to make that catch. That's what we're doing out here today. Because of course we are. Because of course you caught that. And I think, again, you see the plays, the level of frustration, a group that's dispirited to a point where I don't know how you can correct that until you get into next year. I don't think you can. You got to get some kids to move on. They've been beaten down. They've been on the wrong end of way too many losses. A lot of these guys have been on the wrong end of a lot of losses. And they are the ones that I think, with the most experience of losing, that lead the way to the here we go again mentality I'm talking about.
Do you think in availability tomorrow, DeAndre announces he's coming back for next year and Willie's made it clear he's going to be the starter and James understands that?
Man, there will be no Jeff Cameron show if that happens tomorrow. I'm going to need a day at the park. I'm going to take the dogs for a stroll. I can't do it. For now, there's a part of me that actually understands it a little bit. Not next year. No. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and the 2019s are arriving every day, including the all-new 2019 Altima. Pick 6 Savings has almost cleared out the 2018 Altimas, but we still have a good selection of 2018 Rogues, Pathfinders, and Muranos that are all $6,000 off. All 2018 Sentras are $4,000 off, and we have over 40 to choose from. 2018 Versa S 5-speeds are $11,995, and 2018 Versa S Plus Automatics are $13,995. And we've extended the $10,000 off all 2018 Titan and Titan XD, regular cabs, extended cabs, crew cabs, gas or Cummins diesel. All 2018 Titans are $10,000 off, and we will give you $2,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade. That's $10,000 off all Titans and $2,000 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade, or a total of $12,000 in discounts on every Titan we sell. But you better hurry. The 2018s are going fast. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge.
Car get caught in some gridiron action? Take it to Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center. Now open at the new location on Lake Bradford Road. The new Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center is still providing the best car care and collision service in town with the same great people, but now at a new state-of-the-art facility off Lake Bradford Road. Come check it out for a free collision estimate and find out why Bob's Auto Repair and Collision has been rated #1 with FSU students in Tallahassee for over 35 years. Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center, 2293 Lake Bradford Road. Don't let your car get stuck on the bench this season.
License number MV01209.
This is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. If hail or debris from the recent storm did damage to your vehicle, contact Seminole Glass today at 850-539-4527. We'll take care of everything for you with mobile service and a lifetime warranty. We're in network with your insurance, and it's your choice. So choose the local company you know and trust. Seminole Auto Glass, 850-539-4527 or at SeminoleAutoGlass.com, because no one takes care of your car like Seminole Auto Glass.
Hey sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
Want to fish or hunt this fall from a brand new John boat for free? Pepsi's got you covered. Look for the Pepsi 2 for $5 mini can Madness display at participating retailers and sign up for a chance to win the John boat, motor, and trailer. Pepsi, keeping North Florida refreshed and having fun.
Headed to the new Gordos, 'cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos. Ooh.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm gonna sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever gonna get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woohoo.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Guillermo, put this on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show and on Instagram. If you were a Madden ratings performance adjuster, would you wear that title on the back of your jacket? There was a dude who was just sitting there. He's on the sidelines, and he is a Madden ratings performance adjuster. And I can't believe that that's a thing.
I like the idea of players looking over to the sideline and seeing the guy, like, writing in his notes. And being like, what? No. That's not me. I could be better than that.
Right. He could definitely be bought, right?
Mike, would you wear that to a bar if that was your jacket?
Yeah. I Googled to see if those were purchasable.
And?
Did you really?
Yeah. You can get anything, man.
That's pretty funny.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP. Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I don't go all in on the choo-choo for just any victory. Like when we stomped Florida, I did not begin the next day by going choo-choo and talking about the tournament train because we're just a better basketball program than Florida. So you don't get the big choo-choo for doing what you're supposed to do, which is just kick the hell out of Florida who can't compete with you. They're not a competitive team.
We're just a better program than Florida is right now?
Yeah. And I mean, that's evident by the last 5 years of ass kickings we delivered.
Stick him in your mouth and suck him.
So that's just another year, another game, another win. And then, I figured we'd beat Tulane. So I'm not going to choo-choo this thing, game 2, for beating Tulane. We win 80-69, and I go, yeah, of course, that's what we do. It's a road win, and we're 2-0. We're the 14th ranked team in the country, y'all. This is what teams do that are good like us.
Even though we are the 14th rated team in the country via the AP poll, I still am counting wins. I'm like, all right, that's 2. Need 18 more. Just get to the dance, because if we get to the dance, we can do some damage in the dance. So just find me 20 wins. We're 10% of the way there, buddy.
I do want to note that that second half we shot the ball extremely well en route to outscoring Tulane 41-34, and moreover, just as an aside, it's pretty cool looking at PJ Savoy on the year from beyond the 3-point arc. He's 8 of 13, just as an aside. So it's a fun team. This is a defense that was embraced at the end of last year in the tournament run, and it looks like so far through 2 early games, 2 wins, that they have carried over their commitment to defense. And that's something that, again, you can hang your hat on. It's early in the year. You're still learning about roles and all that stuff. And obviously later in the year, Phil Kofer will join this team. But for now, their length and their effort gives a lot of trouble to a lot of teams. It will continue to do so. Both opponents for Florida State were held below a point per possession in the games. So you're happy with that kind of effort right off the bat. He's in Chicago still, is he? There you go. Ira Schoffel, warchant.com, joins us early today because he's going to be getting on a plane here in a moment. Hello, Ira. How are you, baby?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm doing great. I'm glad that you were kind enough to join us. Are you at the airport? Are you in your hotel room? What you doing?
I am. I'm at the airport. They're making me leave. I was trying to stay, spend a little more time in Chi-Town, but they're making me come back to Tally.
I love it. I had a great time, and you did make me laugh, man, because your mindset was similar to my mindset on Saturday night. I was in the stands and enduring the cold and just chuckling at yet another lopsided affair, and in a way that many of our fans can't right now because the anger has reached epic proportions. But the pictures that you kept sending out of how beautiful Chicago was made me smile. That was well done, sir.
Well, it just felt like, I guess it got reasonably close in the second half where you felt like, okay, if they punched it in that one time they got down in the red zone, that, there might be a chance this could be a competitive game. But it's been about a month since we've seen a real football game. So I kind of felt like maybe just accept it for what it was and start thinking about other things.
So this is a broken team with a lot of flaws and a lot of problems. And I don't think it's any surprise that when the schedule got tougher and the teams got more competent and more talented physically, the scores got more and more lopsided. But people don't want to hear that. because there are a host of other problems, and I agree with you that some of these things they fall at the feet of Willie Taggart and his coaching staff. But others are just plain truths, which is that this offensive line can't block you, me, Tom, Corey, anybody. They can't, and you can't win that way, and so the results are not all that surprising. Big picture, what did you take away from this ass-kicking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same place. I mean, look, I think everybody keeps asking me. I ran into people at the hotel this morning, ran into some people just walking around Chicago yesterday, a lot of Florida State fans, a lot of people listen to your show and read our site, and they just want to know, do we believe in the coach, or do we think it's all the players, or do we think it's the coaching staff as well? And right now, I think it's some of both. I just think that this roster is what it is. There's a reason they haven't won in a couple of years, and they haven't played good football really in 3 or 4 years. So I think that's fair to say. I think it's also fair to say that this coaching staff hasn't done a whole lot to overcome it. They certainly haven't done much that you would say, okay, I can see where they're going to fix these problems. And maybe they're not fixable, but there's a lot of other things that have gone wrong. You talk about the decisions to return all these kicks, and which they finally stopped doing in that game. Just some of the other decisions. But at the end of the day, you could be an average to below average football team, but if you're going to put the ball on the ground the first time you touch it or second time you touch it in every game against good teams, you're going to get blown out. And that's what this team does. They, second play of the game, throw an interception, next 2 drives later, fumble, just same thing as against NC State. I mean, they are literally giving teams on the other side of the field the game. And, I don't know how much of that is the coaching staff. I think a lot of it's on the players, but the coaching staff obviously hasn't changed what we've seen so far.
I think that the biggest mistake the coaching staff made may have been in their preseason evaluations of what they had. And they couldn't have helped some of these injuries, Ira, you're right. But I think they thought they were a little bit better than they were, and they went in full bore trying to run what they want to run. To their credit, they've made adjustments. And I tell people they're still scheming to try to win games, man. They had all kinds of new wrinkles in this game, which shows me that they believe they could win the game. They believe that, and they're putting kids in a position they think to succeed. They're just not good enough. And I think you're right. Mentally, they're beaten down. I think there's a here we go again mentality. But I do want to ask you about Willie's, I think, misstep last week. If you want to go with DeAndre Francois, fine. But why kind of allow for that to linger on the way that it did? I don't think this game turns out any different whether James Blackman starts or DeAndre Francois starts. But I do think you may have welcomed a controversy or a divisiveness into the locker room that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, the whole thing's kind of goofy. But I felt all along, and I told you this, and I told anybody else who would listen to me, I felt like there was no chance Blackman was going to play Saturday. I felt like they've decided that, for whatever reason, they've decided they're shutting him down unless they absolutely have to play him. And even if something happens to Francois, I'm still not sure they're going to play him. I think they're committed to giving that kid a red shirt. I don't know what the background of that is, but it's the only thing to me that explains some of the decisions. And at least he came out today and said, yes, okay, Francois is our guy. Unless he gets hurt, Francois is our guy, which, again, to me, admits kind of what I've been saying. And, I don't know why he did that. My guess is he has not wanted to let people know that he's basically, shutting that kid down, and he's not going to use every available weapon to win football games. But I think he's decided for the big picture in the long term, of this program, he wants James Blackman to have that year of eligibility. You can think it's a dumb decision, but I think that's the only decision that makes any sense.
Well, no, I agree with you that that's why he's doing it. I think the problem is, like a lot of things this year, it's a little disjointed. I think they came to that decision awfully late. And
yeah, or miscalculated during the season. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it makes perfect sense.
Right.
I'm just saying, what he's done these last couple weeks kind of says it. And, I just, and at the end of the day, like you said, I don't know if it makes a difference. You go back and look at the NC State game. Yes, the kid threw it for 400 yards. But, yes, that's a terrible secondary. And, yes, he didn't do anything early before the game was decided. I mean, that game was 17-0, largely because he and the offense didn't do anything. So it's not like, you got Montana on the bench.
No, they're bad. This is just a bad football team, and you're right. I don't think the difference between the two is, as I often say, look, he's not appreciably better, either one, when I'm talking about either one of them, right? They're not. So I agree there. I am curious. There's a chance, Ira. You may not agree with me on this, and I've been saying for weeks that I thought they were going to get blown out in these games, and they have. But I don't think they're going to get blown out on Saturday. if they can convince these kids to stop catching tackles. If you can come out and try and play hard on defense against what is an average BC offense at best and one that's beat up a little bit coming off the Clemson game, if you can somehow rally the troops to win one game, it will turn into the final game meaning something more than just a rivalry matchup, but rather something substantial on the line. But you got to find a way to get kids to play hard this week. Can they?
Well, I agree with you. And after the game, when I wrote my column that night, I basically was kind of resigned to the idea that they're going to lose out. But then you look at Boston College, and you start looking at the common opponents, and you start looking at what their team's really made up of. I'm with you. I don't know that it's a foregone conclusion Florida State's not going to win. Now, if they play like you said, if the defense continues to play the way they've been playing and catching blocks and not being focused and hitting the wrong gaps and all of that, then yeah, they're going to give up some big plays and they're going to lose. On the same side, on the other side of the ball, if these offensive players don't start playing with some confidence, stop putting the ball on the floor, stop dropping passes, then it's not going to matter either. So I'm with you. I think the game is right there. It's definitely a winnable game, certainly at home. But we also have seen what we've seen this last month, and you have to wonder what kind of toll that has taken on these guys emotionally.
I'll make it short and sweet. You got to travel. Good talking to you, brother. Be well. Safe travels.
Thanks, guys. See you.
All right, take care. That's Irish FL, warchant.com. Yeah, I think walking out of the stadium cold and damp and on the wrong end of a thorough butt kicking yet again, the thought amongst everybody that roots for Florida State was, well, we've seen our last win. There ain't going to be another one this year. We're looking at 4-8. We're going through our own hell that we've seen so many other programs go through. In my mind, I'm thinking, man, I hope there's some dignity with the way we go about handling this, because I've seen a lot of great programs go through this, and I'd like to believe my program's great, and it's our time to wear it. It's our time. It's happened to all of them, whether some of the greatest programs. Notre Dame a couple years ago. So we've all watched this, right? And when it starts to spiral, everybody points a finger, and I got it, man. You do have to assess, and you do have to evaluate, and you do have to try to figure out where you're going. But a lost year is a lost year, and there's no changing out certain elements of that, especially if it's an injury-riddled group, and this has been up front, and they can't block the ones that are healthy. There's just not a lot that you can do to expect much more. But then the more I thought about it, I thought, okay, I don't expect this offense to light it up on Saturday. BC's secondary is pretty good. But they're not, This isn't a dominant defense. This isn't Parcells' Giants. This isn't like you're facing a group that you can't move the ball on if you spread them out and use your athleticism. So can you get the ball to your quarterback's hand? Can you give yourself a chance to score 17? Can you score 17 at home? Because if you can score 17 at home, you're in this game in the fourth quarter. Because I don't believe BC, if you want to be there, is going to move the ball up and down the field. Now, you don't want to be there. We know what can happen. A team that lines up and runs the ball down your throat, it requires you to have a moment where you decide, I'm going to strap it up today. And I'm not going to catch a block, and I'm not going to catch a tackle. I'm going to deliver one. So I can't answer that. But that's their job, to get them to play hard this Saturday. And Harlan's got a lot of work to do to mend broken egos and confused football players that have been taking the field the last 2 weeks.
No, he's got to stop the bleeding for his unit in general. Yeah, it's not been a good couple of weeks for Harlan. Now, we knew that it was kind of an open secret, right?
Linebackers are terrible.
Well, we can't cover either. Like, the covering thing is a problem, but it didn't matter. When you get run up and down the field on, that's alarming, and that shouldn't happen. Even if you could say that our run defense, our rush defense, was racking up numbers against bad football teams, I think there's some truth to that.
I think there's a lot of truth to it.
But there's also a point at which pride kicks in, and I think playing defense in any sport really is about commitment and pride. And I don't want to be a cliche factory, but when a team goes down the field for 97 yards, what was it, 12 plays, 13 plays?
Yeah, just whatever they wanted.
And they were all runs. That speaks for itself. You're Florida State.
Yeah, no, man. Got to be better. There's no way around it. Listen, and former players that listen to this show, and I always appreciate that. I love having interaction with them, and occasionally they'll direct message me and do things like that, and we'll have interactions. I mean, I get it. If I donned the colors, if I played the game here at Florida State, and I didn't, but if I played for Florida State, that is tough. That's hard to watch, man. You wore that helmet. I got it, man. At the same time, I don't think, again, that this is a referendum on what's going to happen moving forward. Some things got to get cleaned up. There have been mistakes made. There's no getting around that. But I think you got to get some kids up out of here. And nothing's going to change until that happens. Now, this game coming up on Saturday, if you don't show a want to and you don't show a fight at home to come in and play physical on defense and to, pick yourself up off the mat, that's damning for Harlan. It is. I mean, because there's a guy that played the game the right way. We all know. We've all seen his highlight tape.
Yeah.
We know who he was in the NFL and in college. This has got to be really unsettling for him right about now. This has to be very difficult to take in.
A willingness to change, too. He's up in the booth. I mean, he's up in the booth this past weekend sitting next to Walt.
Man. They are
he's
trying.
Like, maybe I got to see it from up top. And he's like, nope, looks the same up here. We got problems.
Well, we got kids who can't run fit. We got kids who catch tackles. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Again.
At a time of the year when most real estate agents are dialing back on their marketing, Austin and Brittany learned that Joe Manassa is only ramping his up. They had to find a bigger home for their expanding family, but they also had to sell their current home before they could make it happen. That's where Joe Manassa Real Estate's multi-channel marketing approach came in. Joe exposed the home to hundreds of buyers, generated huge demand, and the home went under contract and sold faster than Austin and Brittany could have ever hoped for. They were so happy with Joe's 5-star customer service that they asked him to find their forever home. And now Austin and Brittany are happily living in Summerbrook, all thanks to the Manassa team. Do you have a friend or coworker that is frustrated because their home hasn't sold? Joe guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline that you agree to, or he'll have it bought for cash. Call Joe to find out more about this phenomenal program. Not only that, working with Joe doesn't obligate you to a thing. If he isn't doing his job, he will let you out of your contract free and clear. But don't worry, that never happens because Joe sells homes quickly and for top dollar. Call the only real estate agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. That's Joe Manassa of Joe Manassa Real Estate. Call Joe Manassa today at 850-888-0888. That's 850-888-0888 or online at manassa.com. MANAUSA.com. And start packing.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Whether you're a professional athlete, casual player, or simply enjoy watching the game on those hard bleachers, any physical activity takes its toll on the body. Athletes require superior amounts of flexibility, speed, coordination, and strength to perform, and they know that treating aches and pains with their chiropractor early is critical to getting back into the game. At HealthSource, our goal is to keep you healthy and playing at the top of your game, whether it's professional sports or simply making it through the work week pain-free. Our team is dedicated to your health, but your aches and pains will never go away if you don't come in and see us. Give us a call today, 877-8980. HealthSource. Don't settle for just treatment. Let us care for you.
Hey, sports fans, who's on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? I'm going with Ruth, Cobb, Aaron, and Mantle. Football, I've got Bradshaw, Peyton, Montana, and Brady. In basketball, Jabbar, Jordan, Bird, and LeBron. This debate could go on and on, but when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of personal injury law in Tallahassee, the choice is clear. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm, so avoid the underdog and go with the favorite, Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-298-5783. 800-298-5783. That's 800-298-5783.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from October. A&E Realty and Management Corporation, Accentria Insurance, At Your Service, Immaculate Commercial Cleaning and Supply, Bob's Auto Repair, Boot Barn, Charlie Ward Family Foundation, Chipola Engineering Group, Custom Care Dry Cleaning, Disc Village, Florida Governor's Council on Indian Affairs, Florida Veterans Foundation, Fresh for Less, Girls on the Run of the Big Bend, Guaranteed Rate Mortgage, Lawn Starter, Paper Fox Coffee, Slash Pine Tech, Storage King USA, Tallahassee Woman Magazine, The Zins Company, University Lending Group, and Venture Construction Group of Florida.
For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Dirk Cutter tells the assembled press today about starting Ryan Fitzpatrick against the Giants on Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. Well, the rationale is I just think he gives us the best chance to win. And with that, the Bucs announced Dirk Cutter has been fired. Oh, boy. I think he just basically fell on the sword there. I think. By the way, that's not official. He hasn't been fired, but he just announced that he's going to be with his words. I mean, that's the end of it. We're done. One was drafted number 1 overall in his early 20s.
And in a lost season, you got to probably vet out a little bit better what you have moving forward if you want to even enter a negotiation this year with Jameis.
It's hilarious.
Hey, we need to win out, and I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is the guy to get us there.
My man just basically said, peace. I'm done here. It's all over but the shouting.
I can't believe they have not fired me yet.
I'm just going to do weird things. Deshaun Jackson will start at quarterback this Sunday.
I'm going to start stripping here at this press conference until they fire me.
What are we doing? Please put me out of my misery. I clearly am in over my head.
I'm like Tom Wilkinson and Michael Clayton.
Oh, incredible film. So, as it stands now, we've got a 2-0 basketball team that just warms the cockles. Way down deep, you feel good about what you're seeing with this team. The carryover from the run to the Elite Eight begins at a time where we desperately need something to latch onto. That and women kicking ass in the world of soccer and soon to be, really across the board for FSU athletics. You're seeing it everywhere.
5 p.m. start over at the soccer complex on Friday.
You're damn right it is.
FSU USF. The road to the College Cup comes through Tallahassee, sir.
Oh, whooping USF. You want none of this. Coach Krikorian has got them girls playing like he does every season on the cusp of yet another national title.
I actually reached out and asked if the game would be streamed because we'll be at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Friday.
That's right. It is a home game.
And I was told yes, but you don't know the carrier yet, and it'll be announced soon. Well, I bet the CP would pick it up. We could put that on the screen on a Friday and be proud as Knowles. There you go.
Did you notice this as I was talking basketball for a brief moment? We'll get back into football in a second. Did you notice that, and I hadn't seen this, but I got to give credit where credit's due again. Rogner posted it on his Twitter, that we had 4 different guys play 33 minutes or more in the game against Tulane. and that fills out, of course, but Ham is going to play his veterans a lot more this year, and he's got a really good veteran bunch, too.
This is a deviation. I think probably what they figured, too, as this game got along, I mean, it's Tulane, but that team did have some players on it.
Yeah.
You know, they might be a complete mess when the final record comes out, but you can see that Dunleavy's got something going there to where they might be a little bit more competitive in their conference than one would think. Now, how about Canisius on Monday night? Are we really going to play 4 guys 30-plus minutes? I doubt that.
Right.
So we'll see as we get into
where you can help it with people that can play a little bit, you're going to, rely on your veterans. But if you can dial that back and get –
But you still play those guys for that many minutes in a game that featured so many whistles in the first half that you're sitting a lot of them with 5-6 minutes to go. I mean, Ham is cold-blooded when it comes to 2 fouls. Unless it's a role player who's not going to play but 8 to 10 minutes anyway. If you have 2 fouls and you're a starter, you're one of the main contributors, you're going to sit your ass. And even still, with that issue, he played these guys for 33-plus minutes. One guy who's not drawn any fouls, though, is Terrence Mann.
I know. And he was a guy going to the basket, double-double.
Yeah.
He is a player that ordinarily does draw fouls.
And I mean, not being assessed a foul. Draw is probably the wrong word. That would mean that he's not getting to the basket and getting hacked. So, yes, he's not being called for fouls. That's
Which
1 through 2 games, yeah.
Elated to see happen, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big piece of the puzzle, especially with Phil Kofer on the shelf. You need him to play as many minutes as possible. That's one player that I do completely understand. Final year, Phil Kofer's on the shelf. You need him to play as many minutes as you can.
Without question. No, without question. By the way, I know we're going to break, and something else to discuss as you scan back from college football for a second. That Notre Dame team is really good, and I don't want to take anything away from them, but they could have their way in the most basic of defenses on Saturday night, and so that's disheartening to see. And you recognize, again, that that's problematic for us moving forward. But I do think as you look ahead on their schedule, USC has nothing for them in 2 weeks, and that game Saturday for them is for the right to play in the college football playoff coming up against Syracuse.
Now, what I found out this weekend is that would not have been at the Carrier Dome. This was a Notre Dame game that they moved out to New York City.
Yeah, so
to the Bronx.
2:30 on Saturday in the Bronx.
I thought they were going to get a break. I thought they caught a break that Syracuse moved the game south, but no, it was Notre Dame said, let's go play out there. Yeah,
they're good, man. They're good. It turned out that Michigan game was everything, and Michigan may be sitting there at the end going, damn it, man. They beat us with Wimbush. If we had just taken care of business.
Samesies, Michigan. They beat us with Wimbush.
Yeah, they could have beat us with some kid that had never played quarterback before. Our run defense wasn't going to make enough plays, baby. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
The Florida State basketball team has the best record in the nation at home the last 2 years.
Three-point shot, it's good again!
The Tucker Center is a house of horrors for opponents. Don't miss the best ticket in town, the ACC Pack. Come see the nation's best basketball right here in Tallahassee for as low as $99. The Noles host Duke, Notre Dame, Miami, Louisville, and more inside the Tucker Center. College basketball is taking the capital city by storm. Don't get left out. Purchase your ACC Pack today. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Seminole fans know barbecue, and Tallahassee's best southern barbecue is Willie Jewell's. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue on Thomasville Road. Smoked on site 24 hours a day. Cooked low and slow the old school way. And every meal is served with a side of southern hospitality. And take advantage of the barbecue tailgate special. Pork brisket, chicken ribs, turkey, and wings with all the fixings to make your tailgate the place to pregame. Let Willie Jewell's take the stress out of your next tailgate or event. Willie Jewell's, 5442 Thomasville Road. Go Noles!
Hello, radio friends. I'm here to tell you about Barbaritos. Our mission statement is farm fresh, so let's explain. We serve char-grilled, grass-fed beef, hormone-free chicken breasts, and grilled tofu for starters. Farm fresh means fresh avocados used to make guacamole, and tomatoes from the vine to craft fresh pico de gallo. Farm fresh means award-winning burritos, salads, and tacos customized for you. So come visit your local Barbaritos today and literally see for yourself. Barbaritos. We roll farm fresh.
Barbaritos. We make it fresh. You make it yours.
Do your hair a favor by checking in online and arriving just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV, a great cut, massaging shampoo, and a hot steam towel. Claim your spot today. SportClips.com/check-in.
Just like football, when it comes to the court of law, you're going to need a solid defense. I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. JRFinjury.com. Go Noles.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already. Grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Save on unlimited rides and admission to the 2018 North Florida Fair, November 8th through 18th. $15 Super Saver Pass, good for Thursday, November 8th or Tuesday, November 13th. $25 VIP Pass, good for any day. On sale now at RCD Shell Stations or NorthFloridaFair.com.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, listen to Dave.
Andro 400, I really love it. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. It feels like I'm 25. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man.
Andro 400 Max, an extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go to andro400.com or call 888-510-9336. That's 888-510-9336.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. One more game to go in week 10 of the NFL season, and this is where the attrition battle begins for contending teams. A couple of Super Bowl hopefuls each lost significant pieces to their teams yesterday. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp done for the year. Tore his ACL in the win over the Seahawks. Kupp has 40 catches, 566 yards, and 6 touchdowns this season. The Eagles already have a thin secondary. Now it is going to be without Ronald Darby for the remainder of the year. He also tore his ACL. Darby was acquired in a trade with the Bills back in the summer of 2017. Darby's going to be the 9th Eagle player to go on IR this season. And already in the defensive backfield, Rodney McLeod, Jalen Mills, Sidney Jones have missed time. As for that Sunday night game in Philly last night, won by Dallas in large part because of their running game and because of Ezekiel Elliott. Ran for 151 yards. The team as a whole ran for 171. 27-20 win on the road. Dallas goes to 4-5. As ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday notes for the Cowboys, the formula to win is simple. Feed Zeke.
He has to be involved in every facet of your offense, whether it's screen game, getting him out in the backfield, checking it down to him, handing it to him, however you want to do it. He is the guy that has to be featured. Everything else will come off of that, including Dak Prescott possibly, zone reading or throwing the play action, all of those things.
Cowboys move 2 back of the Redskins with the home game against Washington still to come. Monday Night Football tonight in the Bay Area, Santa Clara, the Niners hosting the Giants. Coaching front, despite mounting pressure on Jets head coach Todd Bowles, especially after yesterday's loss to the Bills, ESPN and multiple reports say the Jets have no plan on firing Bowles mid-season. Bengals still have Marvin Lewis as their head coach, but they don't have Terrell Austin as their defensive coordinator. Fired today. College hoops, Duke, the new #1 team in the land.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. It is great to be here with you. That's a long flight back. Good times out in Chicago. And a good time running into an awful lot of Noles on Lakeshore Drive, at the W, at the bars, in and around the Windy City, and, of course, over in South Bend, Indiana. Thanks to all of you who came over, said hello, and complimented the show, and chatted us up as we talked about Florida State football and what is amounting to a brutal campaign. But just hang in there, guys. 2 more left. That's all you got. 2 more games. Hold.
All in all, that was a great trip. Didn't get to see as much of Chicago as I would have liked to.
Sure.
But
this was less about that for you this time, just more about
getting to Chicago in the first place and then going to South Bend and seeing one of the great places in college sports. And it was awesome. It was everything I hoped it would be in this way. It was dreary, gray,
cold,
wintry. As the buses getting there, it was like the climate completely shifted.
It did completely. And I listen, I would have told you that next time we got to do this, I had a great time at the Bears game the next day, and the weather was considerably better. It was cold, but the sun came through, and you were able to kind of, side of the stadium I was on, sit there and watch that and feel the warmth of the sun for long enough to get you through the eventual outcome there, which was the Bears winning, going away. That offense is starting to hum there. Those fans are excited for good reason. Florida State football is not starting to hum. No, it continues to be on the wrong end of an ass-kicking every week, and that has our fan base, as I stated before, really apoplectic. It's tough times right now to be a Nole. It's weird. I don't come on here today trying to sell you hope, but I have a measure of hope for Saturday's game against BC. Maybe the last time, if they continue to go out there and catch tackles and physically get whipped up front as they do each and every week on the offensive line. Defensive line hasn't been good the last 2 weeks either, though. Can't have a team run more than 70 plays on you in which there are no tackles for loss. That'll hurt your feelings.
Not what you do.
No, it's not what you do. And it's also a situation where, I think the predictability of outcome here perfectly mirrors what I talk about on a regular basis, which is that you can know it's coming, but to watch it happen really does bring about a whole bunch of emotional responses, and that's what I see today. I saw it on Sunday, see it in my inbox coming in this morning, see it on my phone, see it on Twitter, see it everywhere. You've got a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, and a lot of questions. A lot of people wondering about, how could this happen here? Why is this happening? Who's to blame? Who specifically is to blame? Let's run that son of a bitch out of town. I mean, most of the time when you get to a place like where we're at currently, as I am wont to do, I will note it's a confluence of events. There are a lot of things that lead to this. Clearly, a lack of player development the last couple of years that Willie took over, poor recruiting, poor evaluation, and then a pervasive attitude from the players who've been on the wrong end of an awful lot of losses, which is what I've described today as a here we go again mentality. And I think one of the things that happens when you watch things go south for Florida State, they tend to go south in a hurry. It's the first turnover. It's the first big play given up. It's the first dumb penalty. It's whatever it might be. Because remember, go back to the Clemson game. If you want further evidence of that mentality that I speak of, that we got to move on from, that Basically, you're going to have turnover of roster. It's going to come through recruiting and relying on the young players. It's going to be an awful lot of what you brought in 2018, what you bring in next year, what you brought in maybe in 2017. But the 2015, 2016 crew, boy, they've been on the wrong end of terrible disappointment, and it shows. Because those are the veterans of a team that has lost a lot of games and had a lot of setbacks, whether it be self-inflicted or the coaches or whatever it might be. But that Clemson game, they come out and they battle. And they're playing hard. They're playing tough football. They're in it. They're giving themselves a chance to matter in the second half of a game that is infinitely featuring a team that's infinitely more talented than Florida State is. Certainly in the trenches, that's true. And I think at quarterback. But there you go. You're watching that, and you go, okay, all right, we've got some pieces, and there's the right mentality, guys. That's right, fine. Give yourself a chance. Give them some doubt. And the first colossal mistake, and it's a big one, you commit a penalty, a stupid penalty, overzealous, somebody trying to play hero ball, which is what you do when you're desperate. You don't play within yourself. You commit that penalty, and instead of a missed field goal, it's a first down, and they go down and punch it in. It's only 7-0, and it was over. They were done. They were shot. They were completely crestfallen. It happens quick when it's happened so many times in the past. This game, you come out, you throw the football, you got to catch that. The last thing that can happen is for it to bounce into the air for somebody to pick, because here we go again happened right then and there. It's no coincidence that we're losing games by a lot more points than we were previously, because the teams we're playing are a lot more equipped to do that to you. They're better. They're better teams. I mean, you're getting an ass kicking by teams that have a lot of really talented players. I mean, listen, I don't think NC State's a great team by any stretch of the imagination, certainly not defensively. But they're off. I mean, listen, their offensive line, their running backs, their quarterback, most importantly, are all real good players. Their quarterback's a real good player. Their offensive line's decent. And that running back on that particular day certainly had no problem. This was the first of Harlan's kind of setbacks here as of late. But long story short, Clemson and Notre Dame are real, real good. And schedule matters, man. And you're playing two really good teams, and the results aren't pretty. But when you can't block and you've got a loser's mentality and things start to go south, you see it every week now, and it's just not going to change until some of those guys move on from the program. And it's fair to blame some of the things we see right now on Willie and his staff. No doubt. I'm not deflecting that. Willie and his staff have done a poor job of evaluating what they had. But to say that they're not making adjustments, to say that they're not trying new things, that they're not scheming something different per opponent and based on what they think can work is simply false. It's not working, but they are doing those things. You saw it formationally in this game, got under center. You saw it with the jumbo package that we brought in. You saw it just week to week they do different things, showing that they're trying to get, press the right buttons and scheme it up. They're just not good enough to do it.
Yeah, I agree on all fronts. You have a mess on your hands, but the one thing I'm worried about over these next 2 weeks is you have to acquit yourself even if you lose both of these games. You can't lose this class. You can't lose big pieces to this recruiting class. We go 4-8 and finish the season on a massive slide, buddy, that's where I get really worried, because the whole point of this Willie Taggart hire in the first place was he's going to turn over this roster. Here comes the talent. You got to get the talent, though. And so it's not just about fighting for the bowl streak right now. It's about fighting to put a respectable enough product on television, and I say that tongue-in-cheek, yes, but it's got to be something close to where a recruit doesn't look at this mess and say, I'm not so sure.
Not so sure, right?
I don't know that it's just simply players. There seems to be more at work here. You can't let that seed of doubt be planted in those kids that are firm Florida State commits
Well, it's
right
always
now.
the fear when you're having a season go this far south, and I don't disagree with that. And there are plenty of things that I look at and go, damn it, man, that would give me pause for concern here. Cause for concern here. I would have to look at that again. Then at the same time, I see things that lead me to believe that the fight is still there. Those kids took the field on Saturday night, according to all who were there, and I was, but certainly those down on the field, those that were within the locker room, those that we would consider sources, those amongst with the idea that they were there to win the game. And they came out, if you watched them during warm-ups, we both did, you saw they felt good about themselves. Now, that was quickly quickly subdued, but they believed that they were going to go in and play well. They didn't. They lost. Okay, I got you. And there are troubling aspects to all of that. But if they had quit on the season, you wouldn't see that sort of mentality and attitude during warm-ups and preparation. You wouldn't. They believed they were going to be in that game.
Yeah, but are we front runners? And that's the thing that you're hitting at right here. First sign of trouble.
Oh, yeah, absolutely we are. That's a mentality that's going to have to leave with that group from 15 and 16 that just really – and I don't think you can salvage them anymore. And things have gone south with that group, and for a lot of reasons. But the way forward is with the young guys. And I think if you're going to be critical of Willie and his staff, and there are plenty of areas to be critical in, the hesitance to embrace the future by going younger and really going all in towards the youth movement, maybe sooner or at all, I think you could argue stunts the growth. I
thought that's what we were doing philosophically speaking. Now we've changed the offense up to try and win ball games week to week, which is a positive. But yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can without James. You can't do it without James. That's the whole point, right?
Well, they believe that DeAndre Francois gives them a better chance consistently to win games. It's okay to disagree with it, but they tell you that at practice he's the better player and we think he gives us the best chance to win. Now, DeAndre hasn't always exemplified the kind of character and locker room camaraderie that you're trying to build. I agree with that. And so if it were me, I think I would have moved on too. But
at what point would you have?
Well,
it's easy to say now, but I mean, just think about in the aftermath of a game, so you don't know what's going to happen next.
Look, they would have lost the game to Notre Dame no matter who started at quarterback, but I thought they were given an easy opportunity, fortunately for them and unfortunately for DeAndre, due to injury, to just move on and hand over the keys. Coming off a game against NC State in which he threw for over 400 yards, there were good vibes. I agree with you and everybody else that has said everybody throws for big numbers against NC State. DeAndre probably would have too. It's not about that. I don't think James Blackman, as I have said before, is appreciably better than DeAndre Francois. I think he might be better long-term the more reps he gets, but I'm not sure he's shown, especially not behind this offensive line, that would be something that would be all that discernible week to week. So this would purely be about playing for the future at that point.
But if it's close to the same and the team likes him more, if you go with the whole package, not just throw for throw, they're in the pocket and you're trying to throw through a tire.
Yeah, if that's true, yes, I agree that you had your opportunity, you didn't take it, you decided to stick by DeAndre. I can't figure out what's behind that decision. I don't know. I think there's a lack of leadership skills from DeAndre Francois that I would want to part ways with. I would want to move forward with. But
does that concern you at all? That we're going to live and die on the DeAndre Francois hill for 2018 for this season?
No, because I do think, we'll see about what happens Saturday, but I think that somewhere along the way they decided we can still redshirt James Blackman, and he's going to be a part of what I want to build moving forward. Maybe not as my starter, but as the kind of player I want in that locker room and one who gives me depth and everything else. Now, I want to have a quarterback competition with an experienced player coming in next year in case Howell comes in and he's not able to do it right away. At least I got this kid here that I can trust is going to battle and give me a great competition and be a good teammate.
For 3 more years.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
All right.
So, now, that said, somewhere along the way that decision was made. It wasn't made soon enough, in my opinion. I agree. I think this, if they had decided that was the route they wanted to go, they certainly wouldn't have played him against Wake Forest. I don't know why they did that. I don't think you can.
Or Clemson.
Yeah, I don't think you can put up with some of the stuff that DeAndre does if your whole thing is about being a good leader and, again, winning over a locker room and changing culture. You know, it was Bush League what DeAndre did this week, coming out saying what he said to contradict the head coach to some extent, or at least his press conference, right? Well, we're going to evaluate throughout the course of the week and then make our decision at quarterback come game time is and I'm paraphrasing, is what Willie Taggart said. And DeAndre immediately comes out and says, no, I'm been told I'm the guy, according to Coach Taggart, and that, it's nice to have a guy like James. That's almost sarcastic, the way he was talking about James Blackman there. Yeah, DeAndre does too many of those kinds of things for my taste. So for me, I would probably have moved on from that already. I've said that before, but they clearly think that guy gives them the best chance to win, and I'm not at practice every day. I don't get to evaluate each rep every day. So what I'll tell you is throw for throw. I don't necessarily think they're wrong. I don't think they're right. I think it's a toss-up. And behind this offensive line, I don't think either one of them would have had a shot in hell of winning this game Saturday.
Let's say James had 2 games left before the rule kicked in. Do you think that he'd be starting this week or DeAndre would be starting?
Well, yeah, that's a fair question. Yeah, I mean that's where the blunder bothers you because I think they screwed it up earlier.
Yeah,
but now they've made the decision.
Which wouldn't it just be better for everybody involved if you announced that to the world?
Well, he did today.
Not the James part of it, the DeAndre part that he's going to start the rest of the season.
Yeah, but in essence, he's done that now, and you can't listen. What if on Saturday the score is tied 10-10? Late in the third quarter and DeAndre breaks his leg, God forbid, knock on wood. I'm not rooting for that. I'm just giving you a scenario by which you would need James Blackman.
I think
you would have to then say, okay, there's my guy. I'm going forward. I got to win the game.
Sure. You would have to do it in that moment, and it would be a shame. It would be even more of a shame if it happened next week, and let's say you lost this week. I don't think you do it probably next week.
Oh,
no.
If you lose this week and you have no chance, this is about becoming bowl eligible. Make no mistake. That's what this is about in terms of when you would or wouldn't play him. So if it's 13-13, fourth quarter, DeAndre goes down, he's hurt, and James goes in and you have to play.
I think given that James doesn't have any more games left, right, for the red shirt, then DeAndre gives you the best chance to win. But if it didn't matter, I would be interested to see what the coaching, and you can't know it, but I'd be interested to see what the coaching staff's opinion would be on who gives you a better chance to win the football game. I'm not so sure it's not James Blackman. I think that might be the answer. But since you can't, if you want to keep him around for another year, then they make the decision they do, and they brand it the way they do, that DeAndre gives them the best chance.
Well, and he didn't even say that. I'm guessing that. I'm assuming as much because of the fact that he continues to roll him out there despite.
Well, he said he was healthy. If he's healthy, he's going to play. And then today he said yes.
Yeah.
That barring something dramatic, that DeAndre will be the
basically
starter.
barring injury to DeAndre, he's not going to play James Blackman here. He's not going to burn that shirt. And look, we're getting bogged down into some degree. I know why in the weeds here.
Well, but that matters. I mean, in terms of,
I think it's important to stress that Clemson, Notre Dame, we did start Blackman against NC State and got blown out. He played well. Wasn't his fault. The point is, you weren't winning any of these games, no matter who you started at quarterback. You just weren't. The results would not have been any different. So I'm going to trust that their evaluation is that it's best to redshirt James Blackman if we can. That, again, there's no big difference between the two on game day.
DeAndre gets hurt, just play the wild cam. Screw it.
I did like that, by the way. That was nice.
May as well just run that. I'm serious. If you're hell-bent on same, because apparently that's a big priority to them, is to have 3 more years of James. To me, that's a huge priority for them versus winning this weekend and giving yourself the best chance to win, because wouldn't you want the competition to continue? It doesn't sound like there is a competition anymore. Last week on Monday, it was, we're going to evaluate in practice who the best player is. DeAndre said, nah, it's not like that. Willie Connie on the postgame on Saturday said, yeah, if he was healthy, he was going to play the whole time anyway. I mean, damn.
Well, Willie's saying is, look, don't try to lay the blame of this season at the feet of DeAndre Francois. He's not the reason we're losing games. He's not the reason that every week we go out and get our ass kicked against these good teams, and he's not wrong about that. DeAndre Francois is not the reason we're losing these games.
Correct. If you're trying to build a program and change a culture, that's where the other part of it comes in.
And I think, in fairness,
you're allowing for somebody who's less than ideal as a teammate, who you challenge to be a better teammate in the offseason, to persist as the starter. And it feels like you're rewarding somebody for breaking a code you demanded of them in the offseason.
Well, yes, and there are degrees to that. He has been better. We've talked about it all year long about he's clearly shown a commitment to trying to be better. Now, I'm not going to be in the position of trying to defend DeAndre Francois, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as we're making it. I am not a huge fan of DeAndre Francois. Go back to last year when I was talking about Blackman. I was defending Blackman left and right about the untenable situation he was put in. But I do think that it's not as cut and dry here as saying that this guy's an awful person and terrible teammate and this guy gives us the best chance to win moving forward and changing the locker room. I think that both those guys would be losing a ton of football games because this offensive line is the be-all, end-all of the discussion. They suck. They're horrible. They can't block bad teams, let alone good teams like the two we've faced in the last 3 weeks. They can't.
I agree with you. Last Tuesday changed things, though. Up to that point, 100% on board. DeAndre's trying, man.
Yeah.
But then, for whatever reason, and it wasn't like he took a shot at James. He spoke for the head coach.
Yeah,
you cannot speak for me in my program.
No, I don't think so, but I think he did so in a way that Willie deemed innocent enough. we would disagree with him on that. Quite clearly, we would disagree with him. He's giving him a benefit of the doubt that we would not. That's the only difference here, is that he's giving him more of a benefit of the doubt than I would. And you know what? The head coach can do that. It's his program. Now, we're free to second-guess it, and we are. A lot of people are. But what I'm trying to do is make it abundantly clear to all of our fans, Saturday, nothing's different if James Blackman starts. That game against Notre Dame, I'm saying.
I agree, but that mentality hurts. You know, when it doesn't matter anyway, that's a tough mentality because to me, that's a loser's mentality, that it doesn't matter anyway.
We are losers. I'm not saying in life. I'm not saying what I'm saying is this program right now is filled with too many kids who have lost too many games and find it way too easy to accept losing because that's what has happened to them in, the last 2.5 years? They lost 6 games last year. They were terrible. It's a carryover. Where you're mad and where I'm mad is that when you make change or when change is made because the other guy leaves and abandons the program, that the new guy who sells the hope and is a new voice and a new set of eyes would do a great job of evaluating and begin to remedy the problems you had under the previous regime, and we don't feel like any of that is being remedied currently. And while that may be true and a fair criticism, it is also true to say how much could be fixed with that group up front that Notre Dame so blatantly disrespected by formation. They just said, here's 4 defensive linemen. We're not bringing anybody else up in the box because you can't block us. Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 Aurora wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and the 2019s are arriving every day, including the all-new 2019 Altima. Pick 6 Savings has almost cleared out the 2018 Altimas, but we still have a good selection of 2018 Rogues, Pathfinders, and Muranos that are all $6,000 off. All 2018 Sentras are $4,000 off, and we have over 40 to choose from. 2018 Versa S 5-speeds are $11,995, and 2018 Versa S Plus Automatics are $13,995. And we've extended the $10,000 off all 2018 Titan and Titan XD, regular cabs, extended cabs, crew cabs, gas or Cummins diesel. All 2018 Titans are $10,000 off, and we will give you $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. That's $10,000 off all Titans and $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade, or a total of $12,000 in discounts on every Titan we sell. But you better hurry. The 2018s are going fast. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Prices include dealer preparation charge.
Don't start your day off with the same old boring breakfast. Stop by the Bagel Market and Bistro on Thomasville Road and the Persimmon Hills Shopping Plaza. They have fresh baked bagels and cream cheese every Monday for only $1.50. Green smoothies and great salads like the spinach apple salad. Muffins and cinnamon rolls are also options for breakfast. Sandwiches, salads, and more for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week. Check them out online at thebagelmarketandbistro.com or on Facebook and give them a call at 765-0598.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP, Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Napa know-how. The only thing worse than rain and slush on the road is rain and slush on your windshield. Luckily, when you buy a pair of Rain-X wiper blades, you'll get up to $10 off, plus a free bottle of Rain-X 2-in-1 glass cleaner. So clean off the crud with up to $10 off a pair of Rain-X wiper blades and free glass cleaner. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer ends 12/31/18.
Well, hello, Eddie. It is always good to see you, sir.
Hey, look at you over here, Jeff.
Bumpus is a good place, and we got the news out there that you were opening Bumpus, but what they don't know, you got something different every day of the week, and now that the games are being played, there's a special for everything.
Oh, my goodness, Jeff. The specials we got during game times. We got 75-cent wings, $3 domestics, $5 craft drafts.
That's well done. $7 premiums, $3 wells. What do you got for, say, a Monday Night Football game?
Monday all day long, Jeff. We do a full rack of ribs special. Half rack, $8.95. Full rack, $12.95.
With a side.
With a side.
I saw it was written there. I had to say it. By the way, do you have something for a Tuesday?
Dude, Tuesday, Taco Tuesdays. Any tacos, $10 with a drink and a side.
It's a good deal. Anything
Wednesdays.
for Wednesdays?
Oh, my goodness. Wednesdays. What a Wednesday special. We got a burger and a beer for $12. And if you so choose, add a bourbon for $3.
Okay, so Bumpus has a lot of things going on for the games. Most importantly, those TVs, delicious food, and a special every day of the week. Bumpus!
Local 349.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show. On 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks again for listening, and I'm sorry I don't have the solution to save us from our crappy season. I desperately want to. I can't get us out from under this mountain of garbage that is our game-to-game performance with this offensive line. And it's as simple as that. I mean, there are other issues, mitigating things that we can talk about, debate, and argue moving forward that leads you to either have confidence or none about the coaching staff or somewhere in between. But the truth is, they've got to absolutely look at 5 guys next year that aren't these 5 guys. Now, some of them can't be back. They have to move on. Thank God. And a couple of others that are currently being asked to play aren't good enough. So you got to find 3 minimum, that aren't part of that group. And we can start having a better conversation about consistency and what the program's going to look like moving forward, and the offense and the right quarterback and all that other stuff.
I sure hope one of the freshmen that are redshirting right now are good enough. I mean, you just need one of those to hit. That would really help things.
I would imagine you can, and somewhere along the way, can we get something out of Bavion Johnson? I mean, golly, it's unbelievable you can't get that kid out there for consistent reps.
Yeah, and Scott didn't play at right tackle this weekend either.
He's not the answer.
Well, he's out of position. He might be a center moving forward, but that's what Bavion's supposed to be, right? So
I don't think Bavion's ever going to be a center.
Okay.
So I think if what you're talking about here is Scott at center, Bavion at guard, and then 3 new guys.
Are they going to bring Ball back?
I don't know, but Juwan Williams played.
Yeah, I saw. So I did see 73 was out there.
So
what is it about sitting in the end zone at a road game and seeing a right tackle and going, oh, no.
No.
That's like the last 2 trips I've gone to cold weather.
You know what drives me nuts about that, by the way, is that physically he should be able to play.
Yep.
That's a mental burden.
Yes, 100%.
Because when you look at him, he actually has the tools. Meaning, unlike the previous guy we were looking at from the end zone that you went, he didn't have the tools. This guy's got the tools.
Yeah, he's a little undersized if you're talking about, Power 5 elites like in Alabama. But still, he's got the length and he's got the arm, the range.
He is domed.
Yeah, that Virginia Tech game, I think, undid everything. All of the good.
Yeah, I mean, that was just well, again, if you want a perfect illustration of what teams think of our offensive line, go back countless times in this football game and look at Notre Dame have 5 guys total in the box. I mean, that is just go to hell. You got nothing. I mean, that is the message being sent in that moment.
Or repent under touchdown Jesus. Your choice. The choice is yours.
We don't think you can play. And, you had pockets, you had moments where you were able to run the ball a little bit because of that, I think, but you couldn't sustain it. And the mistakes that continue to add up for this football team, putting the ball on the ground, dropping very catchable balls, which then, if they're not picked off, lead to behind-the-chain situations that you're just not good enough to block up when they know what's coming. So, that's why 2nd and 10, that's why you drop a ball that's going to get you 5 yards, 7 yards on first down, is why is that such a big deal? Well, because we can't block. So if you don't catch that football, they don't have to play us honest. It's now 6 and 10, and they're pinning ears, and who is blocking them? That group.
That's the old adage. So if your football team had to gain a yard, full yard, and your life depended on it, do you trust them to do it? Not this group.
Oh, no. But I do like the package that they brought in now in this game. And listen, you're going to put those big-ass dudes out there, well done. And I also thought that in addition to that, you saw, like you said, the wild cam finally took place.
Yeah.
They also got up under center, which people have been begging them for. This is the kind of stuff that shows me that they are implementing new things in practice. They are scheming for the teams they are playing. They are fighting to win football games. They're not good enough to win them. That is infinitely frustrating for all of us. But the reality is it's not a lack of adjustments, which would be much, much more difficult to stomach. Then we would be having larger conversations about the coaches being in over their head. But they are scheming, doing things that I think if they had the physical tools to do would work. I mean, how many times have you watched replays of us this year? I know we both do this, but you talk about it every Monday when I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, this is a great play. We've got this.
Yeah.
Well, that's every freaking week we're looking at that tape going, actually, this is a good play call here.
Yeah.
That's just, they don't block it, but that's, yeah.
Even for James when he missed a couple of things in the first half against NC State, you're like,
and that's different.
Can Howell be Willie's Neo like Jameis was to Jimbo?
Let's hope.
He's the Matrix.
I mean, you can only hope. Keep Tom Petty playing. I like it. We'll do this for the MyPillow people. You guys at MyPillow okay with me playing Petty down below? MyPillow.com. 100% machine washable and dryable. It comes with a 10-year warranty, and their new purchase money-back guarantee extended through March the 1st. Used to be 60 days. Now it's all the way through March the 1st. More importantly, I sleep on one. My wife sleeps on one. We both love them, so I'm telling you about them. Go to MyPillow.com and buy one for yourself. Click on the buy one, get one free special. Use my code 979ESPN. 979ESPN. You'll get one free pillow when you buy one at a regular price. Best offer yet. MyPillow.com. Promo code 979ESPN.
Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Roofing is rewarding, but it's not exactly a bed of roses. It's a very dirty job, subject to the environment, working on 98-degree summer days, dodging rainstorms, working on steep slopes like a mountain goat. At Parker Brothers, our skilled workers have chosen this challenging trade as their career choice. These are the people that you want working on your roof. We've been servicing the community since 1995. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
CGC 042221, CCC 049350.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. We have all felt the impact of Hurricane Michael across the Florida Panhandle. While Tallahassee was beat up and bruised, our neighbors from Apalachicola to Panama City, their lives will be changed forever. Our hearts and prayers go out to all affected. And while there is devastation, there is hope, because Floridians are strong and we take care of our own. I have traveled with the Red Cross and have seen much of the devastation in person. The pouring in of help from volunteers that are neighbors and strangers alike is incredible and is what makes us all proud to be Americans. Also, if your vehicle was damaged by the storm, you automatically qualify for Nissan's factory employee pricing, which is up to $1,500 under invoice. In addition, you keep all rebates or 0% interest on most models. And Nissan Corporate has just announced no payments until 2019. It's Nissan's way of helping our neighbors, and Kraft Nissan will put an additional $1,000 on all trades. But my main message today is to do what you can do to continue helping, whether your time or your treasure. This is going to be a long process, but I promise you, Kraft Nissan will continue to help until the job is done.
Whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's has savings for pros. Now through February 7th, get 25% off all in-stock kitchen cabinets. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. And don't forget, you can save yourself some time by ordering online at lowesforpros.com and pick up your order at our Pro Desk. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Car get caught in some gridiron action? Take it to Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center. Now open at the new location on Lake Bradford Road. The new Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center is still providing the best car care and collision service in town with the same great people, but now at a new state-of-the-art facility off Lake Bradford Road. Come check it out for a free collision estimate and find out why Bob's Auto Repair and Collision has been rated #1 with FSU students in Tallahassee for over 35 years. Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center, 2293 Lake Bradford Road. Don't let your car get stuck on the bench this season.
License number MV01209.
Ugh, can you please turn on the AC?
Welcome to Florida, honey. It's freaking hot.
I think I know how it feels to be hot. I was born here.
Hi, this is Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. High temperatures can cause that chip in your windshield to crack and spread, impacting your car safety and visibility. With Florida Full Coverage Insurance, windshield replacement is free, so choose the local company you know and trust. Seminole Auto Glass, 850-539-4527 or at SeminoleAutoGlass.com, because no one takes care of your car like Seminole Auto Glass.
Do your hair a favor by checking in online and arriving just in time for your Sport Clips MVP haircut experience while you surround yourself with sports on TV, a great cut, massaging shampoo, and a hot steam towel. Claim your spot today. SportClips.com/check-in.
As the morning sun shines in, you hit the snooze button. 10 minutes turned into an hour. Now there's no time to take a shower or time to get dressed, which explains the sweater vest and the fedora. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
And for just $1, let us make you breakfast, like Taco Bell's grilled breakfast burrito. Eggs, bacon, and cheese wrapped in a warm tortilla. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours. Prices may vary, tax extra.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Breaths. Deep breaths. Yeah, this has been something that has been brought up a few times, and I agree with the sentiment at Jay Cameron Show. If there's not a better quarterback on the roster than JB in 3 years good enough to beat him out, we'll be doing a search for Taggart's job. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Would JB even be here for all 3 years if Howell's the guy?
It's just when you're losing, and one thing is for certain, we are not accustomed to it. Now, I know we lost 6 games a year ago, and things were not all that much better off than what we're seeing right now. In fact, they weren't better off. You did have less injury woes on the offensive line and more talent than you currently do, and so you were able to kind of mitigate the downward slide to a degree. At least in terms of the scores. That's the other thing people, I don't think, consider. I've noticed this. The going for it on 4th down, for example, like Willie did in the Clemson game early.
NC State second half?
NC State second half. Is an effort to win a football game. Well, when you fail in those efforts, you get blown the hell out because you give the ball up on your 30 or your 40 or whatever it is you're doing, but you're fighting to win a football game. And so I appreciate that. I think it's the right call, right? It's not, you're not paying lip service at that point. You're literally trying to win the game. So my point would be
decision versus call, yes.
Yeah. So what happens in that situation is that the score becomes much more lopsided. I was talking about this with a buddy of mine. We were talking about, well, I mean, when you do those things and it doesn't work, then you get beat worse than if you shorten the game, punt, play field position, and kind of mockingly go through the motions knowing you're not actually trying to win the game. And they haven't shown that, and I've appreciated that they're willing to try to win the game even with this sorry sap group up front. I mean, they're trying. It's just, oof.
Yeah, I think bottom line here is you're a good offensive line away from at least contending in a lot of these games. And at that point, you can build. At that point, you can recruit. But are we going to be undercut by the inability to consistently move it on the offensive side of the ball where we can't sign a top 10 class or a top 12 class? Is the product going to be so bad?
Well,
on top of the fact that you kind of botched last week with the quarterback situation, there's no need. It's kind of like a holding penalty when you can't have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I get it, we're bad, but we don't need to be inflicting wounds into ourselves on top of the fact that we're not very good. That's the quarterback situation last week. I get it. It's not ideal. Neither of these guys are likely to win the Notre Dame game, but you don't need them infighting for no reason.
Yeah, there are missteps along the way, and I think it happens. It's born out of trying to put out 50 different fires, and things slip between the cracks.
Yeah.
And, they haven't
a lot of fires.
They haven't been able to do it. Louisville did what they should have done a while back. They fired Bobby Petrino over the weekend on Sunday, 2-8. 54-23 loss to Syracuse, cemented the have a good day. They've also seen enough from their former quarterback, Jeff Brom, at Purdue to say, yeah, come on home, big fella. There's no doubt that's who they'll go after. You just wonder whether or not Brom will say yes to that. I would imagine that he will, based on what I've read about his affinity for the place and for the area.
We should play his presser clip tomorrow. It was not a no. It's an impossible situation on a Monday presser.
Hate it. I always give coaches the benefit of the doubt there. I know how Dolphin fans feel, Dolphins fans feel about Nick Saban after all these years. But there are those moments where you have the professional lie, if you will, as a coach because you have to, because your agent tells you, shut up. But you don't have to take it to the next level. You just can't say no.
Right. I think Brom was probably on the you probably should have taken more of a hard line lie part of the equation.
You think so? Because that's what you do. There's a little line there. You're like, which side here are you? Because you got to dance it.
He was on. Yeah, I'm not even focused on that. We've got a big game this week. We're playing Iowa in 2 weeks. That's a big game.
That's a good one.
Right. And at the end, he says, I'm thrilled to have the job I do right now.
Code for peace. It's been real. Glad we were able to make some memories. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
From the notebook of James Naismith to the halls of the Donald L. Tucker Center, the game of basketball has always been a Tallahassee fan favorite. The Seminole basketball team welcomes you the opportunity to become a bench warmer. You never know when your number's getting called. Fans now have the opportunity to purchase a $175 lower level season ticket and sit in a different seat every game. You could sit courtside as the Noles host Duke, Florida, Notre Dame, Miami, and Louisville. It's the best thing since sliced bread and all for only $175. Purchase your tickets and become a bench warmer. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Guys, are you tired of being tired? Frustrated because it seems impossible to lose belly fat? If you're looking for a solution, listen to Dave.
Andro 400, I really love it. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy. It was like I'm 25. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man.
Andro 400 Max, an extra strength, all natural testosterone booster. The safe and affordable way to gain energy and lose stubborn belly fat. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Go to andro400.com or call 888-510-9336. That's 888-510-9336.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
It's that time of year again where you get to shop for the naughty and the nice. Make it easy. Super Lube it with a Super Change card. Visit any of our 19 area Super Lube locations, buy 3 oil changes and get 1 free. And for a limited time, you'll also receive a free fuel system cleaner. Super Lube. It's quick and convenient, and you never need an appointment. Hurry in and get your Super Change card plus a free fuel system cleaner today.
How I love to Super Lube my car, lube my car. How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
Make this the coolest Christmas ever with Orca coolers. Orca has something for everyone on your list. From American-made, lifetime guaranteed coolers that hold ice for up to 200 hours to stainless steel drinkware that will keep your holiday spirits ice cold. Orca has more color and design options than any other brand, including officially licensed NCAA, NFL, MLB, and NHL products. Shop OrcaCoolers.com from Black Friday through Cyber Monday to get the best deals of the season. Make every moment cool and give the gift that lasts a lifetime at OrcaCoolers.com.
As the morning sun shines in, you hit the snooze button. 10 minutes turned into an hour. Now there's no time to take a shower or time to get dressed, which explains the sweater vest and the fedora. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
And for just $1, let us make you breakfast, like Taco Bell's grilled breakfast burrito. Eggs, bacon, and cheese wrapped in a warm tortilla. At participating stores for a limited time during breakfast hours. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, I'm Alan Willis, the General Manager of 97.9 ESPN Radio here in Tallahassee. We have a rare sales position opening. If you have outside sales experience, a great positive attitude, if you're a team player, passionate about working, love sports, and most importantly, a self-starter with a proven record of success, then email me your cover letter and resume today at alanwillis@979espnradio.com. You'll be responsible for generating new business and growing some existing accounts for the only sports radio station in town through working face-to-face with advertisers and business owners. The advertising business is fast-paced, exciting, and can be lucrative. Our employees are our most important resource. So if you think you have what it takes and are ready to join our winning team, please email me your cover letter and resume today to Alan Willis at 979espnradio.com. That's Alan, spelled A-L-L-E-N. 97.9 ESPN is locally owned and operated station and an equal opportunity employer. No phone calls, please.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
One thing to mention is that emotions shift rather quickly. Obviously, the first time something positive comes down the pike and you are left in a better frame of mind, you begin to think about all that's possible the following game, the season after that. Could that be what is kickstarted on Saturday with a decent effort and a nail-biting 23-20 victory over BC? If it happens, I guarantee you our conversation and the narrative about what this season ends up being will greatly shift, because you don't traditionally have to worry too much, I wouldn't think, about an effort issue against Florida, but you certainly would not have to worry about that if you are to knock off BC, because bowl eligibility will sit before you. And you will be able to kill two birds with one stone. A continuation of a lengthy winning streak against an arch rival and a back-to-the-bowl business with this group. And I would say that you clearly would put behind you these stretch of poor performances. It's in your rearview mirror. It's not forgotten, but it is in your rearview mirror just like that if this team goes to a bowl. This group, who also lost 6 games a year ago, goes to a bowl with that offensive line, forget about it. We're talking about things differently. We're not excusing all of the missteps and the 16 penalties and the 15 penalties and the problems with alignment and all the stuff we've brought up over the course of the year. No, that would have to get remedied. But the way we talked about the campaign, yes, that would change.
Well, you'd kill two birds with one stone, and maybe this is something that's not a popular sentiment, but to me, the recruiting class, I care about that more than I do the bowl streak at this point. If you're talking about the health of the program and the ability to turn this thing around, I know that old-timers and even, I mean, I've been around now 12 years here in Tallahassee, Noel fan for 25. The bowl streak matters a lot, but it's not the same as making a bowl in 1986 when there were fewer bowls.
And also the bowls were valued differently.
Right,
now they're just glorified exhibition games.
But I think what matters more in winning the next 2 games, if you could, and if you did, is I think you're going to salvage the recruiting class, and you might be able to pitch to a couple of kids that are on the fence and not committed here right now.
Well, the problem...
Here you go. We've turned the corner that you're talking about, and you're the difference. I think that becomes a much better, more realistic pitch to make.
An easier sell, perhaps,
yes.
But I think that's the sell no matter what, because if you don't make it, you say, see, we couldn't, we have to have you to get to where I'm trying to go. Yeah.
But you might be leaking kids if you lose these next 2, whereas if you win the next 2, you can at least talk to kids, especially those that are in state, and say, see, here you go. Even with all of our troubles, Mullen didn't get it together. Now, if I talked to you in October, you would have felt differently. But take a look. See? Huh?
Yeah,
look at us now.
Yeah, I just think that we overvalue a singular season's results. And both ways. Both ways. You win 10 games, you think.
But not if you go 4-8 and you don't look good for the last 6 weeks of the year. I mean, that's tough. At some point, it does matter. I'm not saying it matters like 9-3, 8-4. But if you go 4-8 and you don't look good and there's division down the stretch, that's a problem. And I think kids would take notice and purge.
We'll see how good of recruiters they are. I think, speaking of purge, Willie's going to make some changes to his staff at the end of the season. My speculation would be that. I don't know that to be true, but I think it's fairly obvious that there's going to be some adjustments that have to be made after year one. And it's a learning season for him as well within this program, this conference, and the caliber of kids you got to get in here and the caliber of coaching that has to sustain that talent. So, I think some of that's been lacking this year.
Do we have the money? I mean, the money will make room for it, but
got to make room, baby. Got to make room. Trying to win some games around here. Also got to make room for that steroids budget that I've been asking for a long time. Some kids need some cars, especially if they play on the offensive line. Those kids can't sit in a normal-sized car.
That's correct.
You got to make an allotment. It's for their well-being, their health.
You think that's a sedan that Shaq is sitting in the commercial? Come on now.
No, these kids are big kids. We're trying to help their knees. This is the best interest of the kid. I think even the NCAA might understand that.
Fall is here. You know what that means, right?
Yeah, colder weather and yard work, like raking leaves.
But, fall is also the perfect time to get your energy audit from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. That way, you can be sure that your whole home is ready for the cooler weather.
I can't afford that.
Yes, you can. It is a free service. An energy auditor comes to your house at a time that is convenient for you, examines your structure, checks your energy and water systems, and then recommends changes that could save you energy energy, water, and money.
They do all that for free?
Yeah. To help customers even more, the city also offers installation grants and low-interest loans and rebates for Energy Star appliances.
Wow, you can really pile on the savings with the City of Tallahassee. I'm going to call City Utilities today at 891-4968 to schedule my free energy audit.
Oh, and don't forget to check out talgov.com for more information about all the ways the city can help you save energy, water, and money.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Headed to the new Gordos, 'cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm gonna sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever gonna get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woohoo.
From the notebook of James Naismith to the halls of the Donald L. Tucker Center, the game of basketball has always been a Tallahassee fan favorite. The Seminole basketball team welcomes you the opportunity to become a bench warmer. You never know when your number's getting called. Fans now have the opportunity to purchase a $175 lower-level season ticket and sit in a different seat every game. You could sit courtside as the Noles host Duke, Florida, Notre Dame, Miami, and Louisville. It's the best thing since sliced bread, and all for only $175. Purchase your tickets and become a bench warmer. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
The Donald L. Tucker Civic Center is awarding one lucky fan with tickets for an entire year with its Tickets to the Tuck giveaway, presented by POSS Medical Supplies. Grand prize is admission for 2 for every event at the Tuck in 2019. Go to TuckerCivicCenter.com to enter. No purchase necessary. Good luck from the Tuck. See official rules for details.
Babe, can you fit my wallet in your pocket?
JCPenney, $14.99 select St. John's Bay cargo shorts for men. Plenty of pockets.
And my phone.
$14.99 select A&A shorts for her. Pockets included.
And this towel.
$4.99 towels. Select styles. Quick dry. Dries quick. Up to 50% off JCPenney exclusive brands like St. John's Bay, A&A, and many more. No coupon needed. Hurry in this weekend. JCPenney. Style and value for all. Pricing effective 4/20 to 4/22. Offers represent savings on regular or original prices while supplies last. Some exclusions apply.
Whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's has savings for pros. Now through February 7th, get 25% off all in-stock kitchen cabinets. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. And don't forget, you can save yourself some time by ordering online at lowesforpros.com and pick up your order at our Pro Desk. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
Stephen A. Smith.
Le'Veon Bell has mishandled this entire situation. I am a person that was totally against those offensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought they flat out betrayed him. That didn't excuse Le'Veon Bell for sending out cryptic tweets. When Mike Tomlin, of all people, says we want volunteers, not hostages, it doesn't get more indicting than that.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio. WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. One more game to go in week 10 of the NFL season, and this is where the attrition battle begins for contending teams. A couple of Super Bowl hopefuls each lost significant pieces to their teams yesterday. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp done for the year. Tore his ACL in the win over the Seahawks. Kupp has 40 catches, 566 yards, and 6 touchdowns this season. The Eagles already have a thin secondary. Now it is going to be without Ronald Darby for the remainder of the year. He also tore his ACL. Darby was acquired in a trade with the Bills back in the summer of 2017. Darby's going to be the 9th Eagle player to go on IR this season. And already in the defensive backfield Rodney McLeod, Jalen Mills, Sidney Jones have missed time. As for that Sunday night game in Philly last night, won by Dallas in large part because of their running game and because of Ezekiel Elliott. Ran for 151 yards. The team as a whole ran for 171. 27-20 win on the road. Dallas goes to 4-5. As ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday notes for the Cowboys, the formula to win is simple. Feed Zeke.
He has to be involved in every facet of your offense, whether it's screen game, getting him out in the backfield, checking it down to him, handing it to him, however you want to do it. He is the guy that has to be featured. Everything else will come off of that, including Dak Prescott possibly, zone reading or throwing the play action, all of those things.
Cowboys move 2 back of the Redskins with a home game against Washington still to come. Monday Night Football tonight in the Bay Area, Santa Clara, the Niners hosting the Giants. Coaching front, despite mounting pressure on Jets head coach Todd Bowles, especially after yesterday's loss to the Bills, ESPN and multiple reports say the Jets have no plan on firing Bowles mid-season. Bengals still have Marvin Lewis as their head coach, but they don't have Terrell Austin as their defensive coordinator. Fired today. College hoops, Duke, the new number 1 team in the land.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
To hang over the program from the weekend, every weekend. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming. That's free always. Don't forget, if you miss anything, you can go back, get caught up whenever you want, as we do post all 3 hours of the show every day upon its conclusion for you guys to be able to go back and listen in at your leisure. We put it on our app, the WTSM app, which is free to everybody. It's a good app. It's archived there. And that's always good, too, if there's ever a problem with Tropos with the signal here. That will remove that for you. Also on the website, ESPNTallahassee.com, and on iTunes. And if you want to, you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, and I would suggest you do, because it's a damn fine show, and we're helping you get through a really long year with pretty damn level-headed conversations about a terrible football team and a season to forget, but one that you'll look back on when they're good in a few years, one with hope, or you'll look back on and say, well, that was the beginning of the end. Again, at least to that era. But we nuance in there. There's a lot going on here. Email the show if you want. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's @JCameronShow. WTSM app, I already said that. If you want to YouTube the show, you can. Hello, YouTubers, ESPN Tallahassee. Periscopers, it's on Twitter @979ESPN Radio. So as we've spoken about the last couple of hours, the good and the bad, the good certainly is that our basketball teams, swept the University of Florida to start the year, which is a great thing. And then our basketball team went and got its second win, and Mr. Mann with a little double-double action. All right, there's veteran leadership on the road against Tulane. And not only that, Florida State begins the season undefeated. They move up in the rankings. It's just odd to sit there and look at Florida State in the top 15, man. Doesn't that – I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know what to do with it. That's why I thought maybe the loss to UF was coming, because we're not that team. We're not that program that sits there for a couple of weeks at a time. Certainly not one that improves and climbs all the way up to 14 from 17 in the AP poll. Not like the CBS Sports Power Rankings, where maybe it might be the analyst of the week that likes Florida State a little bit more than the next guy who's going to do the next week's picks. No, the AP poll has Florida State in the top 15.
It's exciting. So it's a season where we've talked so much about, hey, it's tough right now, but at least you have something to turn to. This basketball team is a good team, and they got something from Kabengele again, and he looked good coming off the bench. And they've got guys that really cause problems with length. They're forcing turnovers. I believe Tulane. I was watching this on the plane. I think Tulane had 13 turnovers in the first half, if I recall right.
Well, it was a whistle fest. I actually had to follow this thing without being able to watch it because I was in transit as well. And I think it was 25 fouls in the first half. So that's why,
Cruz will do that sometimes, right?
I don't know that I think some people were saying that Leonard got some younger bodies on the court because he was mad at some of the veterans. No, I mean, foul trouble. You know how Leonard is with 2 fouls. So that's why you had even a walk-on play in the post in the final 4 or 5 minutes of this first half last night. And then the second half, they take over. It's a big run right out the gate.
Well, the one kid for Tulane hit everything under the sun.
Yeah, the Zhang kid.
Yeah, the Zhang kid you couldn't stop. I think he was 7 of 10, if I remember. And again, I'm a little scattershot today, just given what took place travel-wise. But I'm informed. I'm good. I've gone back and looked at the football game again, certainly the one I attended. And I'm going to touch on that in a second. I just want to continue to point something out about the basketball team for a second. Trent Forrest we're just going to miss the hell out of this guy at some point because it's always so quiet. Sometimes you don't even think to yourself, outside of a great defensive play here or a slash to the basket or something that you see from him where he reveals the strength. He's a strong kid. You never think about how it is, though, that when you look at a box score and he fills it, man. 13 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He's your guard. I mean, it's fun to watch.
Well, it speaks to what we're trying to do as a program, which is embrace the era of hybrids across the sport. It's all about wing play, right? Mm-hmm. And while Trent isn't your standard shooter as a guard.
Gotten better, though, early on this year.
He has gotten better, and he's the best rebounding guard we've had since Derwin Kitchen was here, too.
Derwin was one of the greatest I've ever seen here. So that's a lovely comparison because that's an honor. If Trent knew it, that's an honor to be compared to him as a rebounding guard.
But he's got the body type, as they say in basketball, to bang a little bit in the post and around the basket, and he's not afraid to use it. Some guys have it, and they don't know what to do with it, and some people just aren't blessed with what he's a strong kid.
Really strong.
He's able to take the punishment that the ACC is going to provide us for 18 games coming up.
I think that last year, at the end of last year, when we talked to Leonard Hamilton at the start of this year, we've talked to him twice. We'll talk to him again here real soon. But it's been, some of the focus, the way the conversation got steered from Coach Hamilton was to mention that he thought that they didn't shoot nearly as well as he had anticipated going into the season last year. He thought they'd be a much better shooting team because of what he saw every day in practice and just guys' strokes. He thought they would shoot better, and they had their moments, but they weren't real consistent. It's 2 games, but through 2 games, I think he's got to be really pleased. Obviously, they shot exceptionally well against Florida. They kind of got anything they wanted, and if you excluded garbage time there, where he just brings in everybody off the bench and Florida's able to cut it from 40 to 21 or whatever it was. I mean, the game was already decided, so it skewed the stats some. But here in the second half, you're out here shooting 56%, and this is more of what he had thought he was going to get last year from the shooting standpoint. So that's exciting, and I hope that continues. Obviously, when the game was on the line in the second half, you come out and you shoot well on the road. That's a big deal. Just an early gauge, just a little something. Okay, let's see. Let's put that away.
Well, yeah, and obviously when Phil Kofer comes back, if you're able to shoot from all angles, that just makes it all the tougher to defend us in that side of the ball. What's really exciting, though, is it looks like the defense is not a tournament fluke from this past spring.
They're in, and they're long, and they are troublesome.
They play for each other, all that stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Florida State returns home to face Canisius on Monday, November the 19th at 7 o'clock. So they should, you'd like to think, move to 3-0. By the way, the game, it's a campus game for the Advocare Invitational.
Yeah.
Takes place over the Thanksgiving.
Before we start out in that Orlando tournament, they do that. We played Iona here. In one of those, it was almost like a preliminary undercard type games. And then I know Canisius from the days of, following MAC basketball ever so briefly. But it should be another easy win for Florida State as long as they care to play. But the cool thing is, even though this team is senior-laden and you're going to get one back in ninth-year senior Phil Kofer, there's a lot of young players that are looking to prove themselves. So if Leonard does go, 8 or 9 in the rotation, those are sought-after minutes because it may be that in ACC time, you get 10 or 12 minutes a night if you're a young player on this team.
Florida State's got 2 games to try to make a bowl. Your head's not there right now. You're probably of the mindset that they're not going to win both those games, thus the bowl streak is over. Right about now, you're reeling in a way that just says, you know what? Bowl streak? Playoffs? Right? I mean, that's kind of where your head's at, right? You're thinking, what do we do? I think it's pretty evident that this coaching staff believes they can go to a bowl. And they're playing for that, and that's the reason DeAndre Francois is your starting quarterback. This is Willie Taggart earlier today, and I'll explain more on my thoughts on that here in a second. This is Willie Taggart talking about it. He was asked by WarChant.com who their quarterback is moving forward.
Assuming he stays healthy, will he be your starter going the rest of the way?
Yeah, unless something dramatic happen. Again, I don't see no reason for him not to be our starter right now. DeAndre is not the issue with our football team. There's a lot of other issues. He can't block for himself. He can't go and catch the ball. He can't play special team. He can't tackle. He's not the issue with our football team. And if DeAndre was an issue, then we would do something about it. Yes, he's our quarterback.
Fairly evident he's going to fire his special teams coach. I mean, do I need to? I'm not the only one who sees this now, right? I mean, he rips his ass every week. He just did.
There's a question about quarterback play, and he found a way to bring special teams up, and the answer, yes.
He just did it. I mean, it's the first thing I thought of when I heard the sound clip. I went, well, that's going to do that. I mean, he's done with that, and he's incensed by it. It's obvious.
Yeah,
so
he's not Landon Dickerson. He's not Keith Gavin. He's not Trey McKitty. He's not Alonzo Hampton. It's he's DeAndre Francois. He's got to be the best DeAndre he can be.
So, I think it's one thing that is evident now when you hear people ask rhetorically as they scream and look to the heavens in the pose of "Why hast thou forsaken me?" Why do you keep playing this kid? Why are you still running him out there? The answer is, whether you agree with it or not, I'm indifferent about that. That's a different discussion entirely. The answer is they think that he gives them the best chance to win, and so I think they believe that. And then the other side of that would be that somewhere along the way, and this was probably clunky, so I'll grant you that it could have been handled perhaps differently both publicly and privately. Somewhere along the way, they decided that James Blackman, they'd be better off redshirting James Blackman. And that seems to be evident now, that they don't want to have to play him if they don't have to, so that they can hold on to that redshirt. You can agree with that or disagree with it, but I'm giving you answers. Clearly, they want to redshirt him. But I also think, Tom, they believe DeAndre gives them the best chance to win. And I think they think that, frankly, they're not going to say this. Clemson, NC State, Notre Dame, I don't know how a coach would say this. He can't. But with our offensive line, I don't think they believe they were going to beat any of those teams. So
it wouldn't matter, though, because they're starting DeAndre if he's healthy anyway.
Well, what I'm saying is it wouldn't matter who's quarterback. It doesn't make any difference who's quarterback. So if you do want to preserve that extra year for whatever reason, and you don't want to, it's like he said earlier in the year, well, so I should just get James out there and get him killed? So I think the second they decided they were going to do that, they were sort of, at this point, deciding we're going to ride and die with 12, and we actually do believe, from a thrower's standpoint, he gives us the best chance to win the two remaining games we have a chance to win, which are the next two. Boston College and Florida.
I don't know. I don't think they have to be in line with each other. I just wonder if the priority first is to redshirt James versus DeAndre gives us the best chance to win.
But I don't think with this offensive line, James Blackman, I don't think either one of them would have won any of those games.
Right.
James did play, and one of them threw for over 400 yards, and they got blown out. So, James would not, I think you would agree with me, James would have made zero difference in this game against Notre Dame. Zero.
Unless he kept on the goal line on his own read. Maybe we could put 6 points there. But
right, it wouldn't have made a difference. So, it's pretty evident teams now increasingly, and I think early on maybe they were sort of uncertain, but when you go back and watch the defensive alignments that teams are lining up against us now, dude, they are just, as I said about LeBron, they're just peeing in your face. They don't believe you can run the ball. They have nobody else that walks up to the line of scrimmage to deal with your offensive lineman. They'll put 4 down linemen and go, you can't run. You've got more guys to block us than we have on the defensive line. We're not even going to put a linebacker up there. Here's our 4 defensive linemen. You can't block them. We know you can't. We're just going to put everybody back in coverage, go to hell.
Yeah, we did have some success on the ground this weekend, but it's 17-0 before you're even blinking an eye.
And so my point would be, you know what? Some of that success came from the fact that Notre Dame blatantly said, double middle fingers. You can't block us. Get you some. And by and large, it was true. We couldn't. And that's every freaking week. And so, once again, I sound like a broken record. I think they've maybe at times mishandled some things. I think publicly you should not have your quarterback, DeAndre Francois, contradicting what you said at the previous press conference. I have a problem with that because I think, again, it reveals a lack of leadership on DeAndre's part, that if you're trying to engender a different culture in the locker room and engender the sort of camaraderie and trust and all the unity you talk about, then maybe DeAndre's not your guy. Short of that, if we're just getting into a thrower for thrower thing, I get it.
I guess there's an inconsistency from where we were in the beginning of the season to where we are now. I think that Willie is indicating that he doesn't care about this season. So
you and I disagree on this.
For me, I don't want James Dressing if you're going to redshirt him, because if DeAndre gets hurt, roll out the walk-on kid. Because I think that's what you're doing here.
I disagree.
I think the players would play harder for number one. And I think that makes a big difference if you're throw for throw close enough. If the players play for you harder, we've seen this example before with Golson McGuire. Doesn't mean that you're going to win a game against Notre Dame, but you're also trying to build morale and save morale from year to year.
Yeah, so there are elements of our discussion where I think we cross over in agreement, and then there's the obvious point in which we disagree. I don't think Willie, by starting DeAndre, is throwing in the towel in the season. I think he's starting him because he thinks that he's the best quarterback for the job. And it wouldn't have mattered who you started against Notre Dame. Wouldn't have mattered who you did start James against NC State. It didn't matter. And it sure as hell wouldn't have mattered if you started anybody against Clemson.
But it's different to say it doesn't matter who you're going to start versus who gives us the best chance to win a game.
But I believe that he and the coaches believe that DeAndre gives them the best chance to win. And the reason I don't think they've given up on the season, they had new packages in this game. They schemed for Notre Dame. They're not just running the same old plays. They had a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, I know. Under centers, the sneaks, the wild cam, all that stuff.
New stuff.
Yeah,
they're trying to win the game.
George Campbell's out there.
Right.
Weren't we just talking about him last week?
No,
he's targeted 57 times in this game. What the hell is that?
Well, Terry was targeted 9 times. I'm going to need my man to catch the ball. I love him. Notre Dame played too deep the whole game. They're saying you're not going to do that play. We saw what you did. You're not going to do that to us.
Yeah.
So if Trey McKinney doesn't drop the ball to start the game again on a play where,
that ball was a little early, but yeah.
Catch the damn ball. And everything, and this just, again, happens.
You also don't have to hold the button down.
But I would also tell you that that's not the first time Trey McKinney's done that this year. This is a losing team. A season's worth of frustrations are coming out now within the fan base, and I'm sure from some of the players. None of that's going to change this group up front. You have a legitimate shot if you somehow can compel this defense to want to tackle. Because we're talking about the offense. We need to be talking about this damn defense, which 2 weeks in a row is a sieve. And guys are just lining up, and they're testing your manhood. They're doing whatever they want to do. And there's been some scheme issues. You got people running in the same A-gap all the damn time. You got guys bumping into each other. You got guys catching tackles on a third down with a quarterback running the ball. You don't want to make that tackle. He's a quarterback. Tackle the kid.
That's the Samuels play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for catching that tackle, bro.
Oh,
by the sticks.
If you weren't mentally checked out as a fan, you were after that play.
But I'm saying you're watching this happen all over the field. There's a lot of guys catching tackles. Now, is that just they're so dispirited that, they're not quitting, but they ain't giving everything they got either. They're just sort of out there going through the motions. Here's what I would wonder. And we can continue this discussion. What I would wonder is, are you able to show on film, if you show elements of the Clemson game, we're not Clemson, but if you show elements of the Clemson game against BC, they had barely 100 yards of offense, BC. I know their quarterback got hurt, all of that. They couldn't do anything. They're not a great offense. You've talked about that.
Yeah, Purdue absolutely stoned them. Purdue.
If you're hosting this game with a chance to achieve something in a lost season, what feels like a lost season, you weren't going to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's good, real good. You got a legitimate chance to beat BC this weekend. Can you get the fight out of them that hasn't been there the last 2 weeks? Can you not get down 17 points in the first quarter? Can you be in the game? Because I'm telling you now, think about it this way. Whatever it is you have to draw out of them, whatever you got to do just to stop BC's run, BC's not going to let them throw the ball on you. Stop the run. If you do, which was Harlan's mandate from the beginning, which they haven't done 2 weeks in a row now. If you do, you're probably going to win this game. You're probably going to win this game. And if you win this game, unbelievably, you're hosting Florida, which effort won't be a problem against Florida. It can't be, right?
Well, if you have 5 wins especially.
Right.
Yes.
So you can, it would be nuts. It's hard to imagine it happening. It's unlikely, given what that group up front is, which I talk about every week. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's not even crazy to think this is the one. It's not the Florida game. The Florida game will matter, of course. It's this one. You got to rally the troops for this one. Yeah. This one here, because the other one takes care of itself. It's this game.
Yeah, it's not impossible. I agree with you. Just from a football standpoint and a talent standpoint, it's not impossible.
Right.
By any stretch of the imagination, especially if you can show them last year's film and let's say, look at this embarrassment.
Oh, yeah.
And fire them up that way. 35-3 might be able to do that for you. But what was the last thing we said on Friday from the ESPN Chicago studios? Give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
Don't get in your own way. We're not able to do that. I mean, even the Wake Forest game, you're down 10-0, but Wake sucks so much that you can come back and dominate that game for the second and the third quarter, and it's a laugher.
Yeah.
You can't get down 10 or 17-0 at Boston College. They're going to choke the life out of the football.
I don't think we will, though. But BC's offense is not going to move the ball up and down the field with great consistency. If you want to play, if you don't want to play, you'll get run. They'll get.
And if you're not going to make
yards.
stupid mistakes, but I mean, we're through 10 games, and this team, all they do is turn the ball over and make terrible mistakes. Usually in the beginning of games too.
What I don't understand, though, is it's hard to blame coaching for Cam Akers' fumble there. It's hard to blame coaching for Trey McKitty not squeezing the football. It's hard. You know what I mean? There's plays where you just go, well, I don't know what to do with that. And by the way, any ball that gets tipped up in the air for Florida State is immediately right to the other team.
Yeah.
How many tip passes have we seen from our opponents that are nowhere near a Florida State defender? But good God, let a ball get tipped for a millisecond for the other team. It is in the lap of the opposing team.
Your D-line needs to get a whole lot better, too. I mean, we're talking about linebackers, but you don't have a TFL in this game on Saturday?
No, not a single one.
Come on. What are we doing?
There were over 70 plays run for Notre Dame, not a single tackle for loss. Yeah, it's not good, man. You guys can keep your emails coming to me about Brian Burns. Feel free. Or there's all those tackles and sacks I see from him the last 3 weeks. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9, ESPN Radio.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus. At Township in Collegetown, for the table, by the people is not just lip service, it's their mantra. Tallahassee's largest beer hall offers drafts served in steins plus a unique twist on upscale pub fare. Just walk up and order for the table and grab a seat by the people. Some you may not even know. If you're looking for a more intimate gathering, Township offers The Garden, a unique setting to Tallahassee complete with outdoor fireplace and a retractable awning. And let's not forget the 32 taps and a private bar. Book it for your next party or company event. Township Tallahassee, 619 Woodward Avenue in Collegetown.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. It's Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Wendell Parker of Parker Brothers Roofing. Most startup companies go out of business within their first 3 years. It takes years of experience for a roofing company to be exposed to and learn all the things that can go wrong. Don't gamble your valuable home to an inexperienced roofer. Parker Brothers has been in business in the community since 1995. Give us a call now at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
TGC 042221, CCC 049350.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
It's been called shell shock, war neurosis, and battle fatigue. Today, we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, and it affects 1 out of every 5 warriors returning from battle in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Wounded Warrior Project offers comfort and support for warriors with PTSD and all other scars of war, whether those scars are visible or hidden. Find out how to help, because for warriors, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. Please visit woundedwarriorproject.org.
Hi, I'm Jesse Ross, owner and co-founder of Lake Tribe Brewing right here in Tallahassee. When my father, my 2 brothers, and I started Lake Tribe, we had one simple goal: to create great tasting quality craft beer that reflects our love for the great outdoors and have some fun along the way. If you're in town with 80,000 of your like-minded friends, stop by the brewery off West Tharp Street for a pint or a flight of our vast selection of Lake Tribe beer on tap, or stop by at the next gathering of the Garnet and Gold. We're open Thursdays and Fridays 4 to 9 and Saturdays from 1 to 9. Lake Tribe Brewing, find your native spirit.
Hi, I'm Alan Willis, the General Manager of 97.9 ESPN Radio here in Tallahassee. We have a rare sales position opening. If you have outside sales experience, a great positive attitude, if you're a team player, passionate about working, love sports, and most importantly, a self-starter with a proven record of success, then email me your cover letter and resume today at alanwillis@979espnradio.com. You'll be responsible for generating new business and growing some existing accounts for the only sports radio station in town through working face-to-face with advertisers and business owners. The advertising business is fast-paced, exciting, and can be lucrative. Our employees are our most important resource. So if you think you have what it takes and are ready to join our winning team, please email me your cover letter and resume today to Alan Willis at 979espnradio.com. That's Alan, spelled A-L-L-E-N. 97.9 ESPN is locally owned and operated station and an equal opportunity employer. No phone calls, please.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I mean, I do think that they're exhibiting signs that they believe Francois gives you a better chance to win. Our argument against that is that we don't think DeAndre's a very good leader and that guys wouldn't play as hard for him as they do for James Blackman. And that's a discussion to be had. It's an argument that I understand. I don't completely disagree, because I think I would have told 12 to sit a while ago, just the first time that he shows signs that he's reverting back to being selfish. But we certainly didn't lose this game because of DeAndre. And we certainly haven't lost the majority of these games because of DeAndre, the passer. We've lost because our offensive line is the worst in the country. And it is unimaginable to watch some of the things that I see when I go back and watch our games. I know it's the television view. I don't even want to see the All-22s. It's got to be worse. I mean, you got a defensive tackle who never played offensive line here at Florida State starting at guard.
I think the problem is, so let's just say you weigh the pros and cons and you look at the 2 quarterbacks. You could argue, and I think that's what we talked about last week, is there's a legitimate argument to be made that the result against NC State is a little bit watered down if you're looking at James's numbers because of how bad NC State is in the secondary. Mm-hmm. DeAndre probably throws for a big number against NC State. Sure. Does he throw for as big of a number? That's the debate, right? And if you're looking throw for throw, you could argue that DeAndre's better. But DeAndre plus baggage against James and the love of the locker room in a year where you're trying to build something that's positive for 2019, they must really, really want to redshirt James Blackman to make the decision that they're making.
I think they want to redshirt James Blackman. I think, I was told a couple of times this past week that, okay, they come out and they're going to look at the quarterbacks, right? They split time with the ones on that first practice. It started with DeAndre getting reps with the ones first, but James got reps with the ones. And that during the week, DeAndre was better. I just got to trust that the game plan was being put in and he was better. And so, listen, our frustration is our frustration. It's not going anywhere. And these kinds of losses where you're not competitive, I get you. That's elicited. Defensively, first of all, people will say, well, why is it now we get blown out every week? We're playing good teams now. We weren't playing good. When you're playing Northern Illinois and Louisville, and now we know Miami's sorry ass, you're not going to get blown out. Those teams are terrible. Syracuse turned out to be a good football team. They blew our ass out. Anybody good that we've played has blown our ass out. That's just period. So that's what we are. We're terrible. And it's the culmination of a lot of things. It's the 3 years, the last 3 years, it's Willie probably and his entire staff doing a poor job of evaluating what they had in the offseason. I think that's evident now. I think that they were overly optimistic about what they thought they could get done. Then they had all the injuries happen with the offensive line, and that devastated them. I think you can go back and look at each of the last 2 recruiting classes, and you would be shocked to see just how poor they are when you look at what you've been able to get from a production standpoint.
Oh, yeah, look at the 2016 offensive line class, the one that was going to save us, right?
Right. It's just been awful. So players were misevaluated and not developed. The new group comes in, inherits a nightmare that is already headed downward, doesn't do a very good job of evaluating what they have, plows ahead forward thinking, we'll fix it, coach's disease, savior complex, I got this, we'll be all right, don't worry about it. He just needs a pat on the back. Apparently they needed more. But it doesn't change the fact that you can't block. And I'm a broken record in here every week, but when you can't block, you cannot win, and it does affect everything you call. If they were calling the same plays all the time, I'd be with you. But they're not. They're showing you that they're game planning. It's just not working.
Right, but what I'm saying is I'm fearing, and maybe I'll word it differently, and maybe this is a better way of saying it. I'm fearing that a needless controversy from last week will undo the program, or at least undo more progress with James Blackman, the offensive players that support James Blackman, for no reason.
Yeah, there was no reason for that. I agree with that.
You could either get out in front of it and say, if DeAndre's healthy, he's our quarterback, which is what he said in the postgame on Saturday. The gamesmanship that is, I have to make them prepare for DeAndre Francois and James Blackman.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
That's not a real thing.
No, well, not with our offensive line. It doesn't make any difference. So you're right.
So what's the benefit of doing that? There is no benefit, and you might hurt yourself in the long term unnecessarily.
You could. It's a misstep. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that I don't think it's because what I am saying is for people who think he's mailed in the season by choosing to start 12, I disagree with that. I think he may have caused himself a controversy that's unnecessary. We do agree on that.
But I think the message, and I'll give credit where credit is due here. I heard Chris Nee say this on their podcast on Knowles 24/7. James wants to play. James is not asking for a red shirt. From what he's hearing, that part of the camp, if he can start, he would rather play than not. So that's the hard part here is you're sending a mixed message with James Blackman, which is we're going to give you, a week of practice last week for Notre Dame. Believe who you want, whether or not the reps were split evenly. And then it's DeAndre was going to be the quarterback all along if he was healthy. Well, did I have a fair shot at this thing or not?
Oh, you could argue that he's ruffled feathers in that camp. Sure.
For what, though? If you're going to make this kid the future of the program, which is, at least as an insurance policy, which is what you're saying by redshirting him, then why would you piss him off for no reason? Or why put yourself in a position where he could be pissed off?
Well, but I do know this. I ran into Chris at the airport and had the same you get a lot of love here, Chris Nee. I ran into him at the airport. We had a discussion waiting on our joining flight, and he said that he doesn't want to go in and mop-up duty. Then he would want a red shirt.
Right.
So for the people who've emailed us today and Twitter and, why when they're down, do you not put them in? Well,
sure.
You're not going to do that. That's even more disrespectful.
100% agree with that, which is why that Wake Forest decision tells me that they didn't know what they wanted to do with him.
That is correct, and I stated that in the opening segment. I said that was they came to this decision late.
Which is also annoying.
It is.
But if the kid wants to play and you believe it's for the betterment of the program, that perhaps a worse thrower, throw for throw, but somebody who the kids rally around, we are in desperate need of morale right now. And James isn't exactly a drop-off like from James to Sean McGuire or something like that.
No, but we're in desperate need of offensive linemen right now. And if you think DeAndre is the better option right now, more game experience, better thrower, if you believe that, throw for throw, and you start him, then I understand that. It's not the decision I'd make, Tom.
I agree. And I hear you're saying that.
Yeah.
But if he goes out there and sucks and he shuts down on you, you can't put 12 in that moment. You got to put the walk-on then. If you're that hell-bent on saving one's red shirt and his eligibility.
But I don't think 12 is going to go out there. I don't blame 12 for this loss. I mean, those guys got to catch the damn ball. It's unbelievable. I don't disagree with Willie there. And you can't fumble there, Cam. There's just so many things that are so frustrating that you really can't change until you can get these kids out of here. They got to have attrition. They got to get these kids out of here. These kids are beating down losers. And I don't mean as human beings. I mean they're literally losers. They've lost a lot of games the last 2 years. None of those losses last year are on Willie, and they had 6 of them at the time Jimbo left. He was sub 500 when he got out of here. So they are used to losing. They just are. And it stinks. It's tough. And it's a hard flip, man. And I think we're finding, all of us, including Willie Taggart, it's a harder flip than we realized.
Well, yes, lethal simplicity. The unlearning process is way too big.
It's happening. It's tough. And if you can't block, you can't do things. I mean, they can't.
Is Trayshawn in the doghouse?
I don't know.
I mean, George Campbell has made an incredible climb up the depth chart in the last couple of weeks. And I'm not trying to rip him. I'm just 11. I had to double take. We were sitting high up in the end zone, so you could see the numbers. I'm like, that's 17, 11? There's no way that's 11. And sure as hell, Notre Dame's got the one Jumbotron on one half of the field, and so I looked up at that. It's George freaking Campbell. Where the hell has he been? And why exactly is he out there in this moment? Has Trayshawn only played in 4 games? I'm just going through all of these questions in my mind. And no, Trayshawn's played in more than 4 games. So is he in the doghouse? Is he hurt? There's a dynamic athlete. I don't know. I hear you, though. They're still trying with different wrinkles.
Oh, they're bringing in all kinds of wrinkles. I mean, all I hear every week is how come they can't get under center. They did. They brought in a huge literally a massive jumbo pack.
Marvin's out there.
They're doing all kinds of things. By the way, it's funny. 2 teams have done that against us this year. One of them recently was Clemson. And they're like, oh, that's a good move. Well, okay, I'm not going to fault them for that. They saw something they liked, clearly. I mean, I'm speculating. They saw something they liked and went, we should do that. And they're doing it. There's nothing new under the sun. Do it. Show you're willing to change. Willie has shown that. I think
if you have a good offensive line here, this thing is humming. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I keep going back to. And
offensive production-wise, I don't know about wins and losses, but offensive production-wise, you can see it. If they get any time at all, yes, there are 2 or 3 drive spurts that you go, ooh, my God.
3:30 on Saturday. Do you got enough in you? Can you bow up your shoulders and do the right thing? My pillow is 100% machine washable. You need one. It's dryable. So you throw it in there. You're all clean. You're good to go. More importantly than all of that, it's comfortable. Really comfortable. When I got home last night, I laid my head on that pillow, my pillow, and I slept like a baby. Babies just sleep. They don't sleep all that well. Who sleeps well? A sloth?
I'm sure yes.
I slept like a sloth. And now your warranty, it's extended all the way through March 1st. Used to be 60 days. Now it's all the way to March 1st. Here's what you do. You go to mypillow.com. Click on the buy one, get one free special. Use my code 979ESPN. Make sure you use my code 979ESPN. Go to mypillow.com.
Sleep like a grandfather watching PGA on a Sunday. That's some good sleep right there.
40-something-year-old me. That's the same way, the PGA, especially at nothing. Oh, it's the Lipton. You're just out cold. That's perfect. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I could wait 1,000 years, my love.
Jim Gray from Westwood One here with a Monday Night Football preview. It's NFC action
Coming up, when the 49ers host Eli Manning and the New York Giants. San Francisco's coming off a big win over the Raiders with a very impressive NFL debut by undrafted rookie quarterback Nick Mullins. 3 touchdown throws and an almost perfect quarterback rating turned heads. But head coach Kyle Shanahan said this week's decision on who to play at quarterback is fluid.
That can be a week-to-week decision. That can be a quarter-to-quarter decision. You do everything you can to win games. And so you try to make every decision. Not just about personnel, but what you do in the building. Everything is ultimately about wins and losses, so you decide what gives you the best chance to win.
Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Rod Woodson will have the call of the Giants at the 49ers on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long. Right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee's sports monster.
Tallahassee has always loved the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway for its delicious food, cold drinks, and Vegas wall of 8 50-inch flat-screen TVs. Now, the Corner Pocket gives you a new reason to start off every week at the CP. Monday Night Mania. Enjoy 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers of beer every Monday night from 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the gridiron. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
You know what? It's time you level up your lemon lime with new, clear, refreshing Mountain Dew Ice. Why settle for this when you could have this? You want a fist bump that ends in one of those fake explosions?
Hey, Charles.
Or a fist bump that ends in an actual explosion?
Hey, Charles.
Want to pull up to the party on this? Or arrive in this? Make this musical request? Or this one? So yeah, you can keep drinking the same old, but we think you'll like the exploding fist bump, showing up to the party properly way to lemon lime, right? Mountain Dew Ice. Clear, refreshing lemon lime, redefined.
Save on unlimited rides and admission to the 2018 North Florida Fair, November 8th through 18th. $15 Super Saver Pass, good for Thursday, November 8th or Tuesday, November 13th. $25 VIP Pass, good for any day. On sale now at RCD Shell Stations or NorthFloridaFair.com.
Barry knows cool, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool, you can put him to the test.
For a limited time, receive up to a $400 trade-in bonus when you upgrade to a Select Carrier home comfort system. Plus, you can now quickly and easily schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device at BaranoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. It's that easy. Florida license CAC 057652.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Whether you're making updates to existing properties or building new construction, Lowe's has savings for pros. Now through February 7th, get 25% off all in-stock kitchen cabinets. Plus, save 5% on every purchase every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. And don't forget, you can save yourself some time by ordering online at lowesforpros.com and pick up your order at our Pro Desk. Offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports history.
November 12th, 1995. Dan Marino
passed for his 47,000th fourth career passing yard, eclipsing the mark previously held by Hall of Fame quarterback Fran Tarkenton. At the time of his retirement, Marino held most of the significant passing records in the NFL, although most have been surpassed now by Drew Brees, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Kevin Winter. One more game to go in Week 10 of the NFL season, and this is where the attrition battle begins for contending teams. A couple of Super Bowl hopefuls each lost significant pieces to their teams yesterday. Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp done for the year. Tore his ACL in the win over the Seahawks. Kupp has 40 catches, 566 yards, and 6 touchdowns this season. The Eagles already have a thin secondary. Now it is going to be without Ronald Darby for the remainder of the year. He also tore his ACL. Darby was acquired in a trade with the Bills back in the summer of 2017. Darby's going to be the 9th Eagle player to go on IR this season. And already in the defensive backfield, Rodney McLeod, Jalen Mills, Sidney Jones have missed time. As for that Sunday night game in Philly last night, won by Dallas in large part because of their running game and because of Ezekiel Elliott. Ran for 151 yards. The team as a whole ran for 171. 27-20 win on the road. Dallas goes to 4-5. As ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday notes for the Cowboys, the formula to win is simple. Feed Zeke.
He has to be involved in every facet of your offense, whether it's screen game, getting him out in the backfield, checking it down to him, handing it to him, however you want to do it. He is the guy that has to be featured. Everything else will come off of that, including Dak Prescott possibly, zone reading or throwing the play action, all of those things.
Cowboys move 2 back of the Redskins with a home game against Washington still to come. Monday Night Football tonight in the Bay Area, Santa Clara, the Niners hosting the Giants. Coaching front, despite mounting pressure on Jets head coach Todd Bowles, especially after yesterday's loss to the Bills, ESPN and multiple reports say the Jets have no plan on firing Bowles mid-season. Bengals still have Marvin Lewis as their head coach, but they don't have Terrell Austin as their defensive coordinator. Fired today. College hoops, Duke, the new #1 team in the land.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
For a second to just say this about the NFL. Did you look at Drew Brees yesterday against Cincinnati? Those stats, you know how last week we were laughing about completion percentage and the stats that are out there right now with him? And they brought it up. Le Batard brought it up, and they were just talking about accuracy. And so I was at the Bears game yesterday, and the scores are scrolling around, right? And I'm looking up and trying to catch all the games, and I see the Bucs scored a grand total of 3 points against Washington. I started laughing. I'm like, oh, good thing you started Fitz. Anyhow, and I know they had 500 yards. So, score. Get in the red zone and score. That's all I ever hear.
So I did the late checkout from the W because I'm just not healthy yet. So I was in and out of sleep. And I was thankful that I did not go to an establishment to watch the Bucs, because to watch that 6 times inside the 30-yard line and you come away with 3 total points.
3?
Holy crap, that would have been something.
So here's what is something. Drew Brees yesterday in a 51-14 win over Cincinnati, Tom, completed 88% of his passes. This is a professional football game on the road and in inclement weather. This is not the Dome. They weren't in New Orleans. This was in Cincinnati. He goes 22 of 25, 3 touchdowns, not gaudy stats, no interceptions, of course, just 265 yards in the air. And, this is on the heels now of going 88, 69, nice, 78, 73, 89%. Those are his last 5 games. I'm going to say that again. 89%, 73%, 78%, 69%, 88%. His last 5 games as a professional football player, 3 of them are on the road. 1 of them is against Minnesota. What are we doing?
Playing a different sport. That's what he's doing right now. It's that extra case he's making to change his legacy. So he's in the conversation with Brady and Rodgers.
That final push, the great ones, like you always say,
have
that one
push.
last push.
Well, and I saw his post-game interview from bar. It was like the Blackhawks restaurant at the airport. And I was like, I dropped a bomb, a Jimbo. God, he's going to be around for another 5 years.
It never ends.
He's not going away.
He's not human.
He's not human. The offensive weapons are as good as they ever have been, and that includes his Colston and Jimmy Graham days. It's insane, and it's like the long, cold winter Groundhog Day for Buccaneers fans because we scored 3 to their 51 yesterday.
Yeah, but, I liked it because anything to get Cutter out of there. I said it before the season. I'm going to say it again now. You got to get a different set of eyes on this problem and a different voice and a different mindset, most importantly. Much different mindset. And we got to move on Big River here.
All Dirk Cutter is, philosophically speaking, is somebody who tells you what you can't do, what you shouldn't do. Please don't do that. Instead of
he's guarding against the worst.
Instead of make plays, he says don't make a mistake.
That's correct. Yes, and it's the anti. In terms of the psychological manipulation that you use as a motivator, as somebody trying to again instill confidence. The last thing you do is talk about what the problem's going to be if you make this decision, the problem of this defensive look, the problem of a turnover. It's the Nick Faldo, yes, there's water on the left, but we don't talk about the water on the left. We talk about where we're going to land the ball on the right to give us the best angle at the green. We don't say, don't hit it in the water. We say, land it just past the right side. It's right there. It's obvious, isn't it? Every time I hear Cutter, I'm like, oh, man.
You can't turn it over. How many times has he said that?
Oh, it's unbelievable, right? Time and again. So
we got to score touchdowns instead of we can't turn it over.
The beauty here is that each day that goes by, sure, start Fitz. Thanks for the 3 points, boys. It's okay. It's okay. Good. That's a decision on him. Time and again, let's go out there, lose to that terrible Washington team, score 3 points at home. You're going to get fired.
Oh, I think it's over.
I was surprised.
They're going to let him play out the string, but yeah, it's over. Well, who you going to promote Duffner?
Munkin. We're going to go 5 wide and chuck it everywhere. By the way, at the Bears game, in that weather, cold as it was, Nagy, 5 wide. They come out, bam, 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 bam.
That was the game I had on the TV at the hotel, and Trubisky for the first 2 or 3
really
drives.
Really good.
How about the command pre-snap?
Wow, and the throw down the seam.
Yeah.
He may have a little something going there.
Maybe. I mean, it's all about synergy of quarterback and coach, right? That's something we've learned as an insight over the years. Is that matters greatly.
You see it right there. They got a little something going on.
Those first couple of drives, all of the checks he's making at the line.
It's awesome.
They're choosing between 2 plays, and he's changing the protections and maybe some of the route combinations.
He's a better athlete than we gave him credit for in the draft. He keeps plays alive, too. Sometimes you're like, what do you? Oh, nice.
Well, I thought we talked about that. He's faster than
yeah.
the stereotype would say he is.
Certainly. Quicker than you realize. Better athlete than you know, Tom. Tens of thousands of customers choose Andro 400 every month, Tom. Did you know that? Melts away stubborn belly fat. Helps you lose excess pounds. Increases your energy. Libido to boot. Naturally. Go to Andro 400. Yeah, that's what you're going to do. Andro400.com. Use the promo code. This is a fun one for us to say. Jeff Sixoff. It's J Sixoff. The J stands for Jeff, I'm sure. J Sixoff. It's J Sixoff, the number 6.
Number 6.
Yeah. J Sixoff for your discount on your order. There you go. 90-day money-back guarantee. It's very affordable. Andro400.com. Use the promo code J Sixoff. It's a good way to end the show. Somebody's just hanging around. What do we got next? We got the early version of the reaction
Front Row Knowles
version.
First look. Yep.
I bet they're in a good mood. I can't wait to hear it. I'm sure that was pleasant.
They probably used some Andro before the broadcast started.
Keith's been in a good mood for weeks. I can't wait to hear this thing. Good work out of you. Feel better, buddy. Good work, Matthew. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.